Levels Fight League is the marquee MMA platform in Europe, and becoming an LFL champion is a massive springboard to the top. Just look at three of our best. Heavyweight champ and winner of the one-night heavyweight Grand Prix, Mario Pinto, undefeated homegrown middleweight champ, Alain van der Merkt, and highlight sensation Yusri Belgaroui. Three of Europe's most talented and exciting fighters who proudly wore LFL gold. As these three champions graduate our program and vacate the belts to begin the next stage of their careers, the doors of opportunity open for a new wave of young masters and future champions. Tonight, the next generation takes center stage to battle towards our coveted LFL titles as we unveil our private, intimate LFL Studios, the new home of Dutch MMA, and bring you another sensational card here in the beautiful city of Amsterdam. 18 fighters from all over planet Earth will do battle for honor, glory, and our entertainment. In a feature bout with heavyweight title implications, big, powerful Shah Kamali collides with gritty talent Arya Hosseini. Our co-main will likely produce the next contender for our vacant middleweight strappers, two smashing machines, Nika Tchikhinachvili and Clyde Brunswijk, go knuckle-to-knuckle in the LFL cage. And our main event showcases skilled behemoths Soufyan Arab and the Kung Fu Panda Moreno Kacapor to crown the new LFL heavyweight champion. Welcome to LFL Studios and welcome to the next stage in the evolution of fighting as we prove once again there's levels to this. Remember, if it ain't Dutch, it ain't much. Enjoy the hostilities, my friends.
Welcome viewers around the world to Levels Fight League, the new home of European MMA. We're coming at you live from the brand spanking new LFL Studios in the historic city of Amsterdam. And tonight we have some of the continent's finest fighters ready to throw down for you at LFL 13. Tonight our card is topped by two tasteful, gorgeous, tantalizing fights. In our main event, we have an earth-shaking heavyweight showdown between Moreno Kacapor and Soufyan Arab. While in our co-main event, we have two wonderfully technical middleweights with Nika Tchikhinachvili and Clyde Brunswijk throwing down and putting it all on the line. I'm Callum, your host for this evening, and with me I have two excellent individuals. To my left, we have Robin Black, our martial arts analyst extraordinaire. And to my right, we have Stefan Struve, UFC heavyweight legend. So, our main event tonight, Robin, Kacapor versus Arab. I know that Kacapor was in heavyweight Grand Prix, and he was the Kung Fu Panda, as he's known, was one of your favorites to watch.
Yeah, he's, I mean, both these guys are really explosive heavyweights, right? But every fighter is different. Every fighting man and woman is a unique individual, biologically, psychologically, emotionally, all of it. Stefan Struve is a 7-foot-tall heavyweight. I'm a 5'6" bantamweight, and this man, Soufyan Arab, is closer in height to me than he is to Stefan, and that shapes how he does battle. He's short and he's stocky and he's explosive. He's closer to a rhinoceros than he is a Kung Fu Panda. Kacapor call him the Kung Fu Panda. Longer, reachier. There you see him throwing overhead rights to get in tight. He had tons of amateur experience. Now he's fighting 5 rounds for our heavyweight title. And you heard it in the open. When you become the champion of LFL, that sets you off to greater things.
It's going to be an absolute barnstorm. Well, one thing I think we can say, it's not going to last long. But our co-main event is different in so many ways. When we think of those heavyweights crashing together like a tidal wave, our co-main event is going to be a lot more technical with Tchikhinachvili and, of course, the Dutch kickboxing legend Clyde Brunswijk.
Yeah, really interesting, of course. Another kickboxer making the transition. We see that a lot now in the Netherlands. We see that a lot on the highest level. Very successful fighters making the transition the last couple of years. So very interesting to see how Clyde's going to do every single time he gets better in the MMA space inside the cage. And he fights a homegrown talent. We've seen that a lot of times. I love that with LFL. Nika Tchikhinachvili fought for the amateurs in LFL. Now he's fighting pro. He's got a really big challenge today. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he's going to deal with that. We've seen a little bit of everything from him. His wrestling, his grappling, his striking, and his most recent outing, beautiful knockout. So really interesting matchup. Can't wait. Tune in.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic to see some of the, like you said, some of the LFL alumni who've risen up through the amateur ranks into a co-main event title fight. We have a lot of other fantastic fighters on the card for you this evening as well. Shah Kamali, another one of the exciting heavyweights coming up. Well, we can see some of the weigh-ins here from Kacapor earlier, and Robin there on the right as well. Yeah, Shah Kamali is a fighter to look out for. He's explosive, 7-0 amateur career, has thrown down again and again. Then we have an incredibly exciting women's fighter, Benita van Rooij. I know you've watched a few times, Robin.
Yeah, I mean, we got tons of killer fights from the very first fight all the way through it. Benita is one of these fighters who's sort of cut out for it mentally. Some fighters are technicians, and some of them are artists, and some are athletes. She's a winner. You know what I mean? She's a winner. You see it right from the beginning, her drive. We have 3 titles that we've just vacated with athletes that are moving on to the Contender Series and presumably the UFC to try to become champions there. It's a big deal fighting here these days.
Definitely. We've had people like Mario Pinto going to Dana White Contenders, Alan van der Merk going over there. It really is a conveyor belt of some of Europe's hottest talent coming through. And I think especially, Stefan, with the kickboxing heritage as well, like another Miles Simpson, like another kickboxing legend grown up in that Dutch culture of fighting in that way. How do you think LFL, helps support and those fighters move into that funnel?
I think it's the perfect route for them. Of course, we've had Myrtle Groenhart in the past.
Yeah.
I think with Alex Pereira making it so big in the UFC, going from glory in a couple of years, he is probably, one of the fighters who's one of the biggest stars in the UFC right now. So the kickboxers who have made it in kickboxing see the routes there. They can go that same route, go to LFL, go to Contender Series, go to the UFC directly. There's, just the perfect route from them. In Amsterdam, fighting here, and then boom, to the biggest stages.
It's going to be fantastic. So we're pretty much ready to get the fights kicked off. But before then, let's have a little look at the rules and talk about what's going on. So the majority of the fights will be 3 rounds of 5 minutes, with a championship bout going for 5 rounds of 5. Some base rules here is no kicking to the head of a grounded opponent, strikes to the spine, back of the head, or holding the offensive or opponent's gloves. The scores will be judged on effective kicking, aggressiveness, control of the fighting area, with some other interesting rules as well. No throat strikes, no spiking of the opponent onto head of neck, outstretched fingers will be penalized, as well as there should be no stomping on a downed opponent. But now we have all of that admin out the way. Short little bumper, and then we're going to get into our first fight of the evening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, with viewers from all over the world, I welcome you live from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, for the Levels Fight League. The first LFL fight of this evening is in the bantamweight category. Fighting out of the blue corner, representing Morocco, Noah Laamari!
Here we go, gentlemen. LFL 13. We're beginning. Our opening fight is an amateur bout, and this just really shows how far amateur MMA has come, where these guys look like professionals, the conditioning, everything, Robin. And Noah Laamari is stepping in on short notice, a few days, because his placement had to come out, but he's 18 years old.
Yeah, I was watching Noah warm up in the back when I went to get Stefan a giant energy drink. And you watch these kids, and they have a weird balance of not knowing what they're necessarily in for as they fight on bigger and bigger shows, but also just having so much confidence. It's almost like their lack of exposure to the danger of it allows them to be freer. It's a wild thing to watch. Like, when an 18-year-old who's a well-trained martial artist fights freely, it can be a beautiful thing to see.
What I see when I look at these kids warming up or fighting in the amateurs nowadays, I think like the knowledge I had when I was fighting amateur, and the knowledge they have now from just watching and being coached by people who fought back in the days, it's just incredible. The level of the amateurs is insane nowadays.
Well, down here is opponent fighting out of the red corner from the Netherlands, Mo Aljoumeili.
You know, it's an interesting world where a 22-year-old seems old in this amateur. But yeah, we have Mo Aljoumeili on 4 years the senior of Laamari. And yeah, Mo is a very good technical fighter, likes to look to takedowns in his fight and control the ring from there. And that's always fascinating to see when such young amateur fighters have such a technical background.
Yeah, 22 years old. This is his 6th amateur fight. I mean, I have pairs of underwear that are 22 years old. It really is obscene. But they'll move so quickly. And like I said, when you're young, you're fast and you're explosive, but you also don't edit yourself. You just allow yourself to go. You haven't learned to hold back yet. There's a value in it, in holding back and preserving yourself and being smart. But sometimes when you're 18, 19, 20, you just go, go, go. It's beautiful to watch.
And Stefan, what's it like, you know, working with so many amateur fighters, and you know what it means to actually step in the cage as opposed to training?
You know what I just said. You know, these guys get so much information that develops them so fast nowadays, and to be seeing what they're doing in the cage already, wrestling, grappling, the moves they pull off, it's just insane for me. And he's fighting out of Team Vlaardingen with the Van Steenis brothers, Ricardo Wanlo, who's been Gegard Mousassi's training partner and coaches for a very long time. So I always watch when fighters from his team are fighting, because technically very sound, a lot of experience, very interesting.
And Van Steenis was in his corner, and you have these guys the Van Steenis brothers. Now there's 50 fights worth of experience right there, you know, and yeah, it's wild. They're able to download so much data and implement it so quickly. You know, 22 years ago when he was born, they would have said, don't cross your feet when you do an armbar. You can't finish a guillotine with the arm in. Like, the game just changes so rapidly. It's a completely different martial art. Every aspect, every sub-martial art is a completely different martial art than it was when he was born.
Yeah, you're getting these years of experience of MMA, and everything that's happening just being narrowed and narrowed down, and so you have a library of information. And yeah, we're about to watch two very high-level amateurs throw down in our first fight of the evening.
When introducing first the man fighting out of the blue corner from Morocco, 18 years old, stands in at 170 centimeters, 5 feet, 6 inches. He's representing all in Cologne. 3 fights on his record, 2 victories, 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, Noah Laamari! Well, here's opponent in the red corner from the Netherlands. 22 years old, stands in at 176 centimeters, 5 feet, 9 inches, representing Jim Vlaardingen. 5 fights on his record, 3 victories, 2 defeats. Mo Aljoumeili!
Here we go. We can see there the age difference of 4 between them, and Aljoumeili has both a height and reach advantage.
No questions? Step back. Wait, guys.
Fight will be beginning in 1 second. A nice chance for the two combatants to stare each other down slightly.
That feeling that they have right now is a wild one.
They're praying for that bell to ring.
Yeah. As soon as it starts, it's easier than in the moments of waiting.
When this fight is scheduled 3 rounds of 3 minutes, the referee is Mr. Daniel Sharifi.
Judge, time. Fight is ready. Let's go.
Here we go. The first fight of LFL 13. Laamari with the blue tape and black trunks, and Aljoumeili in the all orange with the red tape.
Straight back up. Laamari's up real quick.
Some nice jabs by Aljoumeili coming in already, looking to control the ring and pushing Laamari back.
Laamari goes under, but I think this is what Aljoumeili wants, what Mo wants, is to get under a knee up the middle, work him to the fence a little bit, and see if he can burn a little gas out of the kid. Good positioning by Noah Laamari. Good head position.
It's good movement so far by Laamari as well. Here we go. Out of the way. Beautiful spinning kick there.
A little bit wild, but
just forces the gap. Yeah.
Attempt.
When you're 18, you're not afraid to try the crazy stuff.
And you were talking about this a little bit earlier, Robin, of just slowing things down, of just trying to let your bigger size play here.
Yeah, I think that's what Mo would, you know, I think that's what his coaches would like him to do. Stick his head in the jaw here, keep that underhook with his left arm, and just start to slow this kid down a little bit. Because
that's what he's doing right now. He's leaning on him, putting his weight on him, making him work.
See, Laamari, when he was moving, was very elastic, changing his stances, upping and downing his hands, you know, just showing a lot of different vibes and flavors. So when you got him against the fence, you know where he is. You take him straight down, little chest pressure takedown, squish that left shin in tight.
And in these shorter 3-minute amateur rounds, this sort of takedown and control is very important, especially if it's going to a decision.
Steps over the leg there, puts his weight on top of him, so it's difficult for Laamari to get back up right now.
Yeah. And with 1 minute remaining, if he doesn't get up, this will be Mo's round, you know. Similar touches and knees on the feet, and then you own a minute on the ground, and all of a sudden you have a round already. We have the LFL new talent that ran all afternoon, dozens and dozens of amateur fights all afternoon, and this is how we develop these. This is the only amateur fight of the night to open up our main card. These two deserve it. But yeah, it is a part of the LFL.
Armbar there.
Yeah, it gets past.
Recognize there, defend well.
Yeah, that Laamari had the chance to stand up there. He just
he's feeling a little bit too comfortable on his back. He did that earlier in the fight when you're taken down. Same thing as now. He's going back to full guard. Well, he should be using the fence to get back up to his feet, especially this close to the fence.
The end of the first round.
And that's it, the first round done there. If a judge's decision, Robin, it would have to be Aljoumeili who comes out on top, mainly because of the takedown and the control.
Yeah, and he landed a few punches, and if both of you did the same thing for 2 minutes, I mean, everything is different, right? How much there, that kick to the body, just lost his footing, just over-aroused, emotionally aroused there off the fence.
So I'm looking to where he was.
Yeah, look away.
See if he was able to put his foot on the cage and do that. It's fun to see that.
Yeah, and here Stefan was mentioning, you know, if you submit a lot of guys with arm bars and triangles off your back in the gi or in the gym doing no gi, you start to be overconfident in it. But in an MMA fight, it's a very different thing. You can be punched, you can be passed. You either get it or you don't, and it's too risky, really. But with wisdom, with age will come wisdom.
And grappling changes so much when you're that close to the fence. So you can either use it in your advantage, or when you choose to go back to full guard, it's a disadvantage to be there.
Here we go, second round in this amateur bout. 3 minutes to go.
This is what I want to see of Laamari. I don't want to see him wrestling anymore. I want to see him move and kick and punch.
Circular.
There you go, nice level change. He's wild.
Funky little attempt at a jumping kick there from Laamari.
Laamari's a bit jumpy now. He feels like everything has to be a home run now. And it doesn't, you know. 3 minutes is a short time, but it's a long time if you land 6, 7, 8, 9 smart punches and kicks.
Looks like Aljoumeili is going for the same tactics that won him that first round.
Yeah.
Push pressure Laamari against the cage.
Go back, surprisingly.
Ask Coach Struve what he would have told Aljoumeili. It would be like, hey, we won, do the same thing, lean on him, get him down, win the last minute on top.
Make him carry your weight. Look at that spinning kick. Laamari's got He's got talent, but doesn't know how to use it yet.
As I hope of being only...
Nice takedown there, changes the angle of it. Beautiful, beautiful job done by Aljoumeili.
The body lock when you join your hands around the body, there's no better way.
Mount.
3/4 mount now, as soon as that foot passes. But you don't even need to settle the full mount here. You just feel a lot of control. He wants to take his time.
Let's see
now into full mount.
How good Laamari's basics are. Basic defense. Hip escape.
Yeah, the giant.
He's trying to bridge, but he's not putting on any sort of angle.
Bridging is going to be of no good now. He needs to go to his side, hip escape out of this.
2 hands on 1 hip. You want to see the kid put 2 hands on 1 hip and turn onto his own, blade his own hip. That's the most basic escape.
He goes his
referee's going to start looking at this suit.
He's going to give up his back, but he can stand.
Go to a tripod here, but
if you're Mo, you want to extend him and flatten his sternum, and he's well, good. I love Mo's ride here. Left hand on the wrist, right hand free to strike.
Yeah, referee's telling.
He's stuck. He can't work.
Why is he
get out of it?
There we go. A second round finish. Mo Aljoumeili.
You know what though? Laamari's gonna get so much out of this fight. He's gonna learn so many lessons. He's a talented young kid. He's just gonna have to learn how to use that, how to get out of certain situations, how to not get into certain situations.
Yeah, and how to set up all that flash.
Yep.
You know, the spins and the jumps, beautiful. Like it's funny. It was what I was saying when he was walking out. Sometimes you're so free, you actually need to learn to edit yourself a little bit. Learn to set up these moments, you know. But this is what Mo did over and over. This time he's turning with the body lock over the extended foot. It's one of the greatest ways to take somebody down and push to the mount is how he did it there. And then he was pretty patient and smart. Pretty, you know, in the end, Mo was the wiser of the two at 22 years old.
Definitely. As soon as he got into that position on the floor, Mo's experience shone through, and I think in equal terms as well, Laamari's inexperience turned through. His seemed to panic a little bit and just bridge when it came down there, rather than, as Coach Struve said, getting on his side, pushing his hip out, escaping, and that's what you learn by going through these high-pressure situations. And at 18, you've got lots of time to come back.
So much time to develop still.
Fighters to the center of the ring, please. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, a big applause for both athletes. Noah Laamari and Mo Aljoumeili. When the winner of this fight is the man in the red corner, Mo Aljoumeili.
Mo, how are you feeling right now, man? You look like a veteran. You look wise and selective in your choices there. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. I hope I looked good. But I want to thank my fucking team and my Vlaardingen. I've been with them since day one. Ricardo Vondo, the best coach in the world. And of course, Gino, Kelvin, everybody. And that everybody that's watching, my family, my friends, I love you all. This is for you.
Mo, one more thing. You know, you kicked off the show tonight. It looked great. It looked like you were enjoying yourself. Is this what you want to do with the rest of your life? Be a professional fighter here in these cages?
100%. It's this or dying. This is the best feeling in the world. I will do this forever.
Well, go enjoy it, my friend. Well done. Mo Aljoumeili.
Very promising talent there, Stefan, and coming from a gym with incredible high-level fighters, so there really is a sky for the limit for.
Yeah, and not only high-level fighters, but Ricardo Vondo has, you know, taken fighters who walked into his gym and couldn't do anything to high-level fighters. So he's got the tools to develop this kid, and we see it every single time because we've seen him at LFL New Talent. And every single time he gets better. We see a new fighter every single time he steps into the cage. So interesting to see how he's going to progress in the future.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to see, like you said, so much talent coming through, so much experience then being channeled into that. So you have these 22-year-olds with a wealth of MMA knowledge that would have been unbelievable 20, 30 years ago.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the featherweight division. Fighting out of the blue corner, Spartak, Khaliev!
So this is Khaliev's first ever pro fight, which is a interesting situation to be in. Stefan, how was it when you moved from the amateur to pro ranks? What were some of the teething periods you ended up in?
The rules changed a little bit, of course. The rounds are longer. For me, there weren't a lot of opponents who wanted to fight me at that point in my career, so I had to move to the pros. And I had a rough start. I lost my first pro fight. And then I went on a 14-fight winning streak. I learned so much from that pro loss. I actually damaged my eye. That's why I'm wearing glasses nowadays, because that first pro fight. But interesting to see. He's got a very good opponent. And he's from the same gym as our man in the co-main event tonight, Nika Tchikhinachvili, who was, pretty much fought his entire career for LFL. So he knows this is the perfect place to start. And interesting to see his skill set tonight.
Spartak, his fights that he's had in the past were 3 years ago almost. So you're going to gain nothing by going and watching those. He will be a completely different martial artist and man. They say no man steps in the same river twice, because it is not the same river and he is not the same man, right? The martial art changes, your knowledge change, you change. I mean, he is a complete unknown to us and to Tiarnan Loughran.
And if you're in a gym, there's other high-level people in, as Stefan said, then iron sharpens iron. So let's meet Khaliev's opponent.
Well, then his opponent fighting out of the red corner, Tiarnan Loughran!
So Tiarnan Loughran is one of the most exciting rising talents going at the minute. He's a brother of UFC bantamweight Loughran. And Tiarnan actually had his first ever pro fight at LFL 12, and it was a very, very impressive display of not only a martial artist, but an athlete, a tactician.
Yeah, the Loughran brothers are serious about beating up other men in cages in their underpants. This is what they're born to do. And between the Loughran brothers and Paul Hughes, who's already a star in the PFL and was a Cage Warriors champion, he was here with Kellen cornering Tiarnan last time. I mean, that group of young fighters are dangerous business.
Yeah, if you want to talk about iron sharpening iron, like we mentioned with Khaliev, Loughran is in the same sort of camp. He's trained at Gabon in Liverpool, where you have people like Darren Till who've fought out of there for a long time. Loughran as well, we've talked about this amateur fights and how important that is in the MMA world currently. And, Loughran has 13 amateur fights before going pro. This is someone who has an unbelievable amount of high-level experience already.
Yeah, and not only the level of training, but he's been in training camps where his brother was preparing for a UFC fight. He's been in the training camp of Paul Hughes, getting ready for McKee. Those are some of the best training camps to be in. Imagine the level of training he's getting in.
That's right.
When introducing first the man fighting out of the blue corner. 30 years old, stands in at 173 centimeters, 5 feet, 6 inches. He's from Ossetija, and he's representing Team De Jager. Tonight, he's making his pro debut. Ladies and gentlemen, Spartak, Khaliev! His opponent in the red corner, 23 years old, stands in at 176 centimeters, 5 feet 9 inches. He's from Ireland, and he's representing the Fight Academy Ireland. His second pro fight, ladies and gentlemen, the Stallion, Tiarnan Loughran! Where this LFL 5 in the featherweight division is scheduled 3 rounds of 5 minutes. The referee is Mr. Tariq Khan.
In the middle.
Yeah, we can see Loughran has a reach and height advantage and a little bit of an age advantage as well, but stats aren't everything.
Yeah, and my friend Paulie Malignaggi likes to say, let's see if any of these statistics become advantages, because they're just attributes. They're, being longer reach is only an advantage if you use it. Being younger is only an advantage if you control it.
Okay, we're back to 5-minute rounds now, as this is a pro fight. Tiarnan Loughran with the red tape and orange trunks. Spartak Khaliev with the blue tape and black.
I talked to Tiarnan at the weigh-ins, and he was talking about how much faster he is and how much slower he sees the game, that he's able to see so much more even than the last fight.
Very interesting here. Khaliev is pressuring Tiarnan here, while in the previous fight, Tiarnan was very much the aggressor controlling the center of the cage.
Tiarnan
He was a little tentative now than his last fight because he was the fighter who, you know, had to make the fight. But right now, Khaliev is bringing it to him.
That's right. Tiarnan looked for a liver shot with the knuckles. He looked for a low kick with the foot.
He's
Khaliev is aggressive, man.
He is. But that's bringing him right into it. If you're Tiernan's guys, you want to just tell him to let a couple of punches go here.
Khaliev just had a good short block on that calf kick of Loughran.
Yeah, I saw it. There, he got it through that time. Yeah.
But Khaliev is swinging and leaning forward a little bit. There is space there to get clipped if Tiarnan is patient.
Tiarnan wants to keep, you know, really keep his defensive systems in play, and it goes to the liver again. This half again.
This is high octane though. Both these men are keeping up.
Loughran is throwing those
currently.
calf kicks in like a weird way.
Yeah, flick.
You don't hear them, and if you don't hear those calf kicks, those hurt.
Yeah, it's the instep of the curve of the foot, right up there, like it's a flick upwards. It's a really nice kick, actually.
Right hand there by Khaliev.
Someone's going to put a knee in here.
Khaliev been finding a home for that right, the left-hand side.
Knee there by Khaliev. Loughran was waiting for that shot. He thought Khaliev was going to go for his legs.
Loughran's letting the left hook go now. Their left hook, right hand from Loughran.
Good head movement from Loughran.
Now, Khaliev has had a nice couple of minutes here.
Can he keep this up, though?
Yeah, and what's happening to that?
There's the level two. Beautiful takedown by Loughran. Look at this. Beautiful sprawl.
Yeah, really nice. Now a knee will come up.
There it is, to the body.
Connects nicely. And you're going to feel that in the morning.
It looked like Loughran was going to get the takedown, but really good timing on the sprawl from Khaliev.
You can see Khaliev, you know, Khaliev's taken a breath or two because he hasn't fought in a few years. And and he's been pushing really hard for 3 minutes. You can suck in air through the nose now. There's the
Beautiful. These really pay off then when your opponent is slowing down. When you go to the body every single time, and get that air out of him.
And Khaliev is actually, you can see just a little stumble out of the front foot, so he's having a hard time throwing punches with as much ding now. So the liver's going, and the calf is questionable.
Look at this, Loughran's getting more active now. Beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, and he's doing it in tight, which is really smart. Calf one more time. Oh, he switched stance. The calf is out, you see bruising on the outside curve of the calf now. Oh, he's gonna keep going there. Yeah, why not? He's gonna have a hard time lifting it to block it.
Khaliev's really resting his weight now on his heels.
Yeah,
those calf kicks really pay off.
He can't put weight on the left pad of the foot as well. There, he's gonna stumble again. Yeah,
he's coming.
And he's coming forward. Good for him, man.
Beautiful movement there by Loughran to go the other direction.
And Loughran is getting a lot of mileage out of those body shots coming in. Lovely whipping kick from Khaliev.
If this minute continues, the left hook with everything. Yeah, you want to.
Loughran is beautiful.
Just about to say, it's time for Loughran to just touch with some jabs here. Straight punches, some straight punches. He sees it now too.
Beautiful body shot too.
Little fake body hook, and he goes to the head. Straight punches now you want from Loughran. There was one, straight right.
I was watching Brendan Loughnane's fight on Friday, and
awesome.
Loughran's style reminds me of it. Every single time he throws, he places his feet and he's ready to go again.
Yeah, and he'll add a third punch if you don't move and you're not defensively sound. There's two. Watch when he throws a third, when he throws a hook behind that next time. There, spear.
Kick there.
And again, Loughran is getting a lot of mileage out of the body of Khaliev at the minute.
So a good minute for Khaliev, a good second minute for Khaliev, and these last 3 minutes have been all Loughran.
Yeah, beating up the body, that left calf is all banged up.
There.
Left hook, beautiful job there by Loughran.
Yeah, you want him hurt. You want him aggressive in these last 5 seconds. 3 punches, 1, 2, doesn't go for the third.
Khaliev really needed this break, guys.
He sure did.
What a first round that was. It began with Khaliev coming.
Look at the body language.
Yeah, so we want to look for ice right on the calf. That corner should be icing that calf right now. And look at the body language of this kid.
Look at Loughran looking at him.
So Loughran was moving well. This one he felt his sternum probably. No, got him to the outside of the eye. He shakes his head, but hooks. So those were the first couple of minutes. Good minutes for Khaliev. Not runaway. Loughran was pretty equal in those minutes, but in his final third, ripped up the calf. Oh, good work by Khaliev. Gets a right hand, turns him.
And Loughran invested in those calf kicks right away from the first moment of the fight. And they're really paying dividend right now.
And he went body quite a lot too, and he didn't land the first 2 or 3, and he didn't throw them away. He stayed with his plan.
Look at Khaliev walking. Did you guys see the way he got up from? He sat right in front of us.
Yeah.
The moment he had to put weight on his foot again, he was like, ouch.
Yeah, and
you can see him flicking his leg out of pain. There's visible marking. You can see the bruise.
Southpaw. He's going to southpaw.
Yeah, he has to. So you'll often hear about how, now he's back, you'll often hear about how it affects the mobility, or it affects, you know, your ability to put weight. Those things are all true, but it also distracts you.
It's
right.
You can almost compare it to like a liver shot. People don't understand the pain of a calf kick and how it hurts. It really takes your leg away. You can't stand on it anymore.
Yeah, but it also steals your attention. You focus. You start to focus on it.
Callum, I understood that you wanted to feel the pain of a liver shot, right? You understand that?
I would love nothing more than you to liver shot me.
Oh, you don't ever say that again. Don't ever say that again. That is a very it's a mistake for you to say that.
I feel being a commentator, Callum, you know, I think it's a necessity.
I had enough of them from Mark Hominick when I was training and fighting.
Oh, beautiful body kick there by Khaliev. Oh,
he gives him one straight back. When it's mirrored stances, southpaw orthodox, the rear leg is so available. You know, you kick me, I'll kick you.
And Tin is still finding a lot of success in Khaliev's body here.
And he'll kick the other leg now, and that is exactly what you want him to do. You want him to kick that other leg.
Because of that aggressive start of Khaliev, we're seeing a lot more out of Loughran this time.
Yes. Loughran's really free now. Again, when I was speaking to him, it was about not only how you see the game, but getting out of your own way and letting yourself express your training. And now you see this is him.
Oh, head kick, and that's it.
That's the end of that.
Maybe over. Ground and pound by Loughran. Beautiful. That's the first time he went up with the right. Beautiful way to end this fight.
Unbelievable. Tiarnan Loughran is the real deal. What a head kick finish that was.
You're going to get a lot of looks at that. And I want you to think about it when you see him throw the right kick to a southpaw. That's not a southpaw. That's a man. He kicked his leg out, forced him to become a southpaw in round 2, which opened up the head kick. So he actually created the scenario to land that head kick by kicking the calf in round 1.
He set up that head kick in the 5th second of the first round.
That's right. That's right. It's really, I'm going to ask him about that when I go up and speak with him, whether that's something, you know, you just see it develop, but watch. Now, little fake, step, push, kick. Yeah.
He hides it behind the right hand.
Which is a touch probably to the shoulder, and it'll push him towards the kick. Watch, push, big.
Beautiful.
Right? Yeah. So you see the one reach distracts him, but it also pushes the shoulder into the rising shin.
I think in not too long we'll have another pair of brothers in the UFC. This kid is very talented.
Yeah, only 23 years old as well, so still a lot more time and ability to improve. But that fight, Loughran dealt so well with Khaliev's aggressiveness.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It's not just, you know, what he showed himself offensively, but how he dealt with the pressure of Khaliev in the first couple of minutes, because he had a really good start. He looked really good.
Yeah.
The way he dealt with it and then took over, very impressive.
Yeah, man, that
Loughran's face, his left-hand side. Khaliev was finding a home for those rights. He was getting some nice shots in, and Loughran went through, stayed with him, and then managed to pull away, whether it was through a mixture of conditioning or technique. He managed to really dominate and, you know, put himself.
Just a very sophisticated young guy. When I speak to him in the cage, our team may throw the head kick up on the screen. They may throw it on the screen. We'll get to see it, and I'll show it to him.
Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, a big applause for both finalists. The winner after 1 minute and 38 seconds in the second round is the man in the red corner, Tiarnan Loughran.
Young man. Robin. My man, Robin. How are you? Very, very good.
That was awesome, by the way. That was as good of a second professional fight I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know about that. I was fucking. In the first round, I was just a bit flat. I know he was catching me with stuff that I don't know, probably shouldn't be getting caught by. But what do you do? What do you do?
Well, he was really aggressive and he was really skilled, right? So he was able to kind of force you to get started. You know, take a look. So they just showed it. I'm going to show you one more time. Take a look at this head kick. Let them tee it up for us. Watch. Reach. Bing.
Bang.
Right there, right? Yeah. Now, think about it. That head kick was created by you kicking his calf enough times in round one that he was forced to turn and change stance.
100%. I'm quite an experienced amateur. What did I have? At 13 amateur fights, I became a victim of kicking a leg, and then going high too early and maybe missing it and being like, fuck, I need to get that. Whereas this time I was just patient. I knew I was going to throw it. And it actually caught him the first time. It worked out well, so why, fuck it.
And you reached through and pushed him into the kick as well. But you forced him to change stances, which is what created that kick.
Yeah, I think the calf was gone. I'm not sure, Spartak. The plan was to kick his calf. I said that to Keelan today. He was walking around and I was thinking, fuck, I'm gonna take that man's calf out, take it home. And I didn't. It worked out well, thank God.
You're not hurt. Why don't you come back and fight again in October?
I'm fighting. I'm coming back down to October, boys, 100%. Keep me active. I fought, what was the last one? April, August. That's too long for me, boys. One every 3 months. Keep it going. I'm back here in October, 100%. I'll see you then.
Congratulations, Tiarnan Loughran.
Guys, I don't even know who has it, but give me that fucking LFL belt. Why not? I like the look of it. Let's do it.
Tiarnan Loughran there asking for the LFL belt, and what a performance, Stefan. And we saw Khaliev walking out. Well, walking is maybe an understatement, but he was hobbling out of the cage because just Tiarnan ate up his leg.
He's going to be waking up a couple times for the next couple of weeks because it takes a while for the calf to recover. It's going to be a very painful leg for a little bit.
It's worse tomorrow and even worse the next day before it starts getting better. But you know, you look at the footage, you go, oh, the kick is nice. You look at the punches, you go, the punch, but it's the creation of the moment that makes a fighter so sophisticated like this young man.
So we'll be back in a couple of minutes after a short intermission, and we have a lot more gorgeous, incredible fights for you. So stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Simpson. I'm fighting at a catch weight of 82 kilo. Yeah, how I started my combat story. I was a very young guy. One of my friends, he took me to the gym. There were a lot of people sparring, and I never saw sparring footage. And I was like, whoa, this is something for me. This is something I can use for my anger. This is something that's gonna keep me calm and collected throughout life. And then at the age of 17, I became pro. I think this is it. I think this really can be my world. And from there on, I took off, and I really never looked back. If I can do this in this set of rules, what can I do in MMA world? And I was really intrigued by it. And I saw my other brothers, such as Nika Tchikhinachvili, fighting at the highest level of UFC. If he can do it, maybe I can do it. And if there's a maybe, I should try it, you know, and I should go for it. Same thing that fooled me during my kickboxing career, same fuel I have now for this MMA journey. Vision for MMA is like same as kickboxing, you know, to become a champion. Good start is always a good end, so I really focused on my first fight. From there, I can talk more about it. For me, it's very important that I play my own fight game, you know. I won't let him dictate the pace. I'm a complete fighter. I can adapt to any situation, and I believe I can also adapt to any situation he gonna try to push on fight night. I can do everything from different angles, from every angle. You name it, I can do it all. My nickname is the Punisher, so you can expect punishment. I'm LFL contender Simpson. Watch me fight live in Amsterdam on 25 August, only on Viaplay.
I welcome you to the Levels Fight League.
So here we go.
Jij bent vandaag de baas hier.
I'm not here to try and get points. I'm here to knock people the fuck out. Die! Die!
Ik ben Benita van Rooij en ik kom uit voor Van Buursport in Os. Ja, ik ben eigenlijk niet net zoals iedereen. Ik ben niet al heel jong begonnen. Op een gegeven moment ben ik begonnen met kickboksen bij ons in het dorp. Maar het was het net niet. Ik heb een eerste les MMA gedraaid en ja, ik was gelijk verkocht. Echt mijn passie, ook sessie denk ik. Ik ga echt al in. Alles moet hier echt voor wijken. Echt alles. Eerste keer bij LFL. Het was mijn eerste MMA-partij. Ik weet nog goed dat ik die kooi daarin stapte. En ik was daar echt alleen en ik liep daar rond en ik dacht echt wauw. Ja, dit is echt wat ik wil. Ik kwam wel in een positie terecht, armbar. Ja, en toen dacht ik wel bij mezelf, ja, je breekt mijn arm hier maar dan tap ik niet, dan vecht ik wel met eentje verder. En toen kwam ik op haar rug en toen werd ik wel, dacht ik echt, nou laat ik echt niet meer los. Ja, toen had ik gewonnen, super blij. Voor mezelf denk ik wel heb geleerd dat je nooit zomaar moet opgeven, dus niet opgeven. Naar het hoogst haalbare gaan en natuurlijk UFC. En nu lach ik, maar ik ben wel heel dedicated. De kooi instap, dan ben ik gewoon echt een ander persoon en ik ga echt all in.
Hey, what up, champ? How you doing?
What's up?
Get it. You're gonna win. Come on, harder. Come on. Hands are good and fast. We're ready to go. Ready to get this win.
Let's go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the next LFL fight is in the middleweight division. Fighting out of the blue corner, David Piechaczek!
Piechaczek, BJJ, purple belt. He's a strong wrestler, wrestled in the German leagues. As an amateur, he went undefeated, 7-0. You can see that familiar theme coming across a lot of these high-level fighters. They have a lot of amateur experience, a lot of time going in. Look at the passion from David there.
Yeah, when I spoke to him, he was very sort of quiet, analytical, had a kind of a quiet confidence to him. But you want to find that optimal level of performance. And for somebody like David, you get the feeling just lighten himself up a little bit is a good thing. So he doesn't start slow. He gets himself a little bit aggressive. He's got a real body made for fighting, long and lean. Yeah, he's a good-looking middleweight.
Yeah, 26 as well, so still in his athletic prime, probably got a lot more, his best years of fighting ahead of him. You know, his pro record, 2 wins, 1 loss. He won his first 2 by rear naked choke and ground and pound, and lost in March of this year with a first-round TKO, which can happen to anyone if you're caught in the wrong way, but you'd want Stefan, after a knockback like that, to try and come back stronger.
Yeah, 100%. And it's going to be interesting because he's 26, his opponent's at 44. His opponent's got a lot of experience, a lot more experience than him, but completely different fighter. He's got a lot of submissions, wins. David Piechaczek, that is. His opponent loses by submission most of the time, so the blueprint's there, you just gotta have to do it.
When then here's opponent fighting out of the red corner, Marvin, Aboeli.
So Aboeli has had a little bit of a break. His last fight was in 2017, but this is what Robin was saying earlier. Sometimes that can be a negative, sometimes it can be a positive, because it means, you know, David's team wouldn't have been able to see too much relevant tape on him, and you don't know how Aboeli's been working in the gym and how iron has been sharpening iron in that time.
Yeah, the last time he fought, you know, 7 years ago was Rosenstrike, who is a UFC contender. And, but yeah, I mean, what's he been doing? Has he been hanging out in the gym, submitting people, wearing a gi all the time? He could be a completely different guy. He's in great shape, especially for a guy in his mid-40s. Very interesting to see against a long, lean kid.
I can tell you this, with Joey Berkenbosch being in his corner, he's been working a lot on his wrestling, which can really benefit him because he's got a bunch of submission losses in the past. But if you prevent your opponent from taking you down, you don't have to worry about it. This man's got a lot of power in his hands, so interesting to see what's going to bring to the case tonight.
And Aboeli is a big-looking middleweight.
Berkenbosch, if you are training wrestling for fighting, for mixed martial arts, for fighting, you're going to do no better than Berkenbosch, and certainly on this side of the ocean, and really anywhere. His wrestling for fighting is top level.
When introducing first the man fighting out of the blue corner, 26 years old, stands in at 190 centimeters, 6 feet 3 inches. He's from Poland, living in Germany, and training at Banterij Aachen. 3 fights on his record, 2 victories, 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lionheart, David Piechaczek! His opponent in the red corner, 44 years old, stands in at 180 centimeters, 5 feet 9 inches. He's from Suriname, living in the Netherlands, and he's representing Juicefit. 7 pro fights on his record, ladies and gentlemen. A big applause for Marvin Aboeli. When this LFL fight in the middleweight division is scheduled, 3 rounds of 5 minutes, and the referee is Mr. Niels Bursken.
Like Stefan said, if David has a hard time taking Marvin down, and Marvin starts throwing heavy punches with full hip commitment, this is going to be a car crash.
Piechaczek, being the taller man of the two, could be a disadvantage in this fight, though. If he wants to take this fight to the ground, those strong hips of Aboeli, as you say, Robin.
Straight out.
Where's the boom?
Explosive.
Piechaczek, he's got the neck.
Yeah, Aboeli took one.
He's going for an anaconda lock, I think.
He's going to dig in and try to get palm to palm here.
Aboeli get out of this.
It's really deep, but David went up the left leg around his opponent's body.
David wants to get his chest up high and fold him, not squeeze him. Fold him over the forearm. There, he's got it. That's now palm to palm, close, the hips are wrapped. Get up high.
Aboeli's got to have to fight the hands now.
He's fighting it. Oh, he's out.
Good job by Aboeli.
What a start to this fight.
Elbows.
Ref said no, but you can do that elbow. That is 100% legal.
Looking for triangle off his angle.
There it is.
Now Aboeli's gonna have to sit up, but those
way high.
It's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, you want to go way high here. Now he's reaching through. Yeah,
trying to get it.
It's tighter. Now it's
sucking it in.
He's biting.
Under angle.
So the bite is in there, but no, he's got him turned now, and he's passed.
Good submission defense by Aboeli so far, which has been an issue in the past. But look at this, he takes the back of his opponent.
Yeah, now he rides the wrist, right hand on right wrist, and he can stand him up here. He doesn't need to choose to go to the back.
You see that a lot of time. The guys really want to go to the back too much, and then they lose the position.
Now he's lifting him back up.
Nice pass from Piechaczek there. This is going to be a high-octane start to this fight.
Now he can turn. Yeah, he's got him. No.
Beautiful.
And a reverse of a reverse.
Beautiful throw by Aboeli.
And he's got him past the arm.
His hook.
And he's mounted.
In full mount, middle of the cage. This is a bad situation there for Piechaczek. Huge elbows coming in for him.
He's got his legs crossed too. He's got it stretched out almost. Hunting for the rear naked.
Both men.
He doesn't have it under the chin though. He's gonna slip off.
And he resets his hips up high. We said what's he been doing for 7 years, and the answer is wrestling and grappling is what he's been doing.
Done by Aboeli though. Stay on the back with.
He's gonna shake him off.
The way he's got his legs locked now.
He's coming off. Coming off. Nope. Oh, he rides it out.
Some big shots.
Still got the back. He's got the arm on the neck. Does he have it? That's deep.
This could be it.
Hand is tucked. Gonna go belly down now. There he's
that's deep. He's gonna tap.
Belly down, under the chin.
Be out.
It's a bar arm choke more than it is a rear naked. Nope. Turning into the elbow, chin in the elbow.
You can see the changing.
Now you push up on the elbow.
And Aboeli is struggling because normally you want the choke arm to be on the other side. Now he can a lot more.
He's out. Aboeli is going to be tired. What a fight.
What a fun fight it is.
The issue is both men have used way too much energy for every position.
It's going to be more fun for us now, though.
Less fun for Aboeli for the next 30 seconds or more.
He's trying to get his hips away from Piechaczek to get back up. Look at this. He's got the underhook, but now Piechaczek is going to full mount.
Firing some big shots down.
This is a really good position for Piechaczek.
Now he's under the chin. This is nonsense. This is so fun.
Aboeli doesn't really have a neck though, so it's going to be really difficult.
A minute, 4 minutes down. They've been sprinting the whole time.
Good job by Piechaczek. If he straightens him out like that, it's going to be hard for Aboeli to defend.
Piechaczek throwing some good shots in.
We're into 45 seconds now. He's under the chin again. Now he's going palm to palm. Nope.
Can't see if he has it.
No, he's not. Now he's got it. He's got to attack the other hand. He's got to attack the other hand, Aboeli.
Can Aboeli get through this?
Aboeli wants to take two hands on one.
Palm. This could be it.
Oh, there's something. Now he's got him. Now he's got him. Aboeli's got to take that hand. Oh, there it is. He got it.
He's fighting out of it constantly.
And Piechaczek is
putting his mouthpiece back in.
Piechaczek is hanging on this like a dog on a bone. And Aboeli's gum shield is being...
So this now, this entire fight is going to be who can recover better in this 1 minute.
Such a fun round, guys. Wow. Incredible. Everything in this round.
Who can recover better in this 1 minute?
Oh, I'm absolutely speechless after that round. I don't think I've ever seen a fight with as many rear naked choke attempts in one round.
And just reversals. The issue for both of them is that they both just kept pushing. And that's why it was so exciting. Nobody took a breath and surrendered a position ever. Hey, Steph? Nobody ever surrendered or accepted a position, which is why they're so tired right now.
They both had to survive
this attempted guillotine. And we see Aboeli on the back here, not too long after he sunk in a choke that we thought may have been it.
That will have been the fastest minute of both these guys' lives. Recovery is separate from other types of endurance. Your ability to recover...
He's ready to go.
Your ability to recover is a separate skill than just, quote, cardio, right?
Well, he's looking pretty fresh.
He does.
Remember, he's 44 years old.
He definitely doesn't look it.
That's a statement.
That cold ice hits the back of your neck, and it just feels so nice. wakes you back up.
King by Piechaczek. Keep his distance now.
Watch for hooks. Oh! Kicked out the leg.
Next with another good shot. He's got the neck again. Hunting for the back. He takes it.
Oh, Aboeli switches.
The timing on that, beautiful.
There's a moment of weightlessness, and Aboeli found that moment and used it to turn.
Piechaczek was too happy to be in that position. He's like, oh yes, I'm on top with a lot of time remaining.
Yeah, no,
I'm not on top anymore. Now Aboeli looking for some space to land big shots.
You take the small shots.
Piechaczek is tired.
Somebody's got us just establish a heavy position, and it looks like that Aboeli is wanting to do that, but Piechaczek is like, nope.
Right now, where they are in this fight, it's all about willpower.
Yeah.
How bad do you want this? Do you really want to win this fight? You gotta have to fight out of some really bad positions now.
And you gotta fight exhausted.
Piechaczek, timing on the reversal there again.
Ends up in full mount.
Wow.
Big elbow there from Piechaczek. Now he's got 3.5 minutes in the middle of the cage to work, but from everything you've seen in this fight so far, it won't stay that way.
He's sitting up again, and now
So hard to get out when you're exhausted here. You got 2 tries, and if you don't get out on that second one, you burn. So there's one, and you burn so much. You want to go small movements to escape this. You go big movements and you don't escape, you're done. There's 2 big bucks.
I see a small bump like he's doing, but I don't want to go see him go to his side.
That's right. Yeah.
Bump to create a little bit of space and then hip escape.
Take that right elbow and move the knee down. You know, like you want to create, and they're now crawling up and isolating the arm. There, he's turning. Now there's an armbar chance here. There's an armbar.
He's almost there. Piechaczek is sliding off of him.
Yes,
there he goes.
Yeah. Aboeli Piechaczek take, yeah, and he grabs the wrist.
Okay, Piechaczek's got his hooks in and some time to work.
Every single time. Oh, he's got it now. This could be it. We said that in the first round, though.
Many times.
Really tight.
We said that many times. He won't give it up.
Rips.
He won't give it up. He's hiding the hands now.
He doesn't have full control with his legs. That's why Aboeli is able to turn.
Aboeli's doing a good job fighting the hands, but is it enough?
He's fighting the hands with his hands, and he's fighting the feet with his hips, and he's turned. And he's mounted.
Energy, now he's underneath him. Every single time I'll call fights like this, I remembered how important the basics are. And I question myself, because I teach a lot of hip escapes almost every week, but these fights show me again and again and again how important that is.
But when you're fatigued, there are routes that you can achieve with small movements. When you're tired, you've got to get there with small movements, because the big buck like that burns too much.
Got to be careful for the arm bar or an arm triangle. He takes the back. Good job by Piechaczek.
Again, we'll be looking for that rear naked that just hasn't materialized for either of them.
It's so difficult to straighten Aboeli out because he's so physically strong. Yeah. Strong hips, strong back.
Piechaczek trying it again. He's got the body lock.
So the one hand is grabbing the shoulder. You see Piechaczek's right hand is grabbing the left shoulder. He can sit there until he gets his other hand in position. It's a grip, it's a biological handle, the shoulder of Aboeli.
He needs to pull his left elbow underneath him so he's able to go palm to palm and finish it here.
That body triangle. Look at how deep the body triangle is beneath the rib cage. So it's actually hard to inflate your lungs here. 45 seconds. But he has nothing on the neck right now, so he's going to try the mount again. Yeah, gets the mount again. 30 seconds to try to use punches to finish this fight.
He's trying to create space, but Aboeli's keeping a hold of him. Good ground and pound here by Piechaczek. It's so difficult to control Aboeli, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in incredible shape. The referee is looking closely at this to make sure he's defending, but Aboeli is being active every time the referee's asking anything.
Aboeli's trained instincts are correct, too. It's not just his athleticism, but he's making really intelligent choices to keep his hips from being controlled all the time. That's nuts. I don't know who won round 1. I would think David probably would have won round 2. Those are two tired men, and if you're Aboeli and there's Birkenbosch in his corner, you got to know you probably lost round 2. You don't know if you won round 1. You may have, but you think I maybe lost round 2. So we certainly need to keep hunting for the neck of this man, or knock him out with a hook if we got enough juice left in us.
Aboeli definitely has the power to end this fight. I think he needs to finish in round 3, because in my opinion, Piechaczek won both round 1 and 2. He ended very strong in round 1. It was all him in round 2.
Yeah. Aboeli looks like the most tired man I've ever seen, but he also looks like the most willing to fight man I've ever seen. I love it.
That's why he came back after not fighting for such a long time. He loves this.
Yeah, he loves it.
This is our third and final round. 5 minutes in this gladiatorial scrap to see who comes out top. And at this stage, it could really be either.
Hard to get those clean punches off when you're as tired as Aboeli is probably feeling right now.
Both men are almost tottering rather than standing here.
I had my last fight at 44 years old. It's too old. I won, but it's too old to be trying to compete as a professional athlete.
I'm 8 years away from being 44, but I don't want to be fighting at that age anymore. I was done 4 years ago.
Oh, great choices by David here. That's a really intelligent triplet of low kicks. Quadrit, is that a word? Now he goes under the elbow.
And Aboeli struggling to keep his hands up here.
Yeah, if the legs were wobbly from fatigue, now you add, damage to the calf muscle as well.
Piechaczek is doing a great job staying long, using that distance, and kicking the calf of Aboeli now, mostly.
Goes to the body head. He's tired too, but he's got a little more bounce to him. And there you go.
On that takedown.
Lovely takedown.
He's got to be careful for the front flu choke here. Aboeli needs to let go of the head when he has the opportunity.
So Piechaczek notices that though.
If Piechaczek locks his hand now, he's got to
a head and
arm triangle.
Arm triangle, yeah. I'm a big fan. I didn't know it before tonight, but now I know I'm a big fan of Marvin Aboeli because he is exhausted. His leg may or may not work, and he has not given this up. Nobody would judge him if he rolled over and gave it up, and he will not do it.
Yeah, his spirit is unquestionable.
Yes.
Piechaczek just burning the clock here now, trying to find some energy somewhere.
It's smart gamesmanship.
Yes.
Aboeli up on the feet, went for the takedown, and now can control and potentially still has enough in the tank to finish.
It's the back again. It's so difficult when you're so much longer than your opponent, when you have the back to straighten them out because they're so compact. Good shots, but he's got to be careful that Aboeli doesn't roll him over, ends up on top again.
Aboeli's more than capable of doing that.
And Aboeli gets his hips back. But Piechaczek will try to get under the tricep here and flatten him out. He scoops the tricep and just extends his body. But no, he instead rolls him and takes the back, gets under him. Both arms elevated, both elbows high now, and the body triangle. God, it's got to be so fatiguing.
The body triangle's on the right side for Piechaczek as well. He's able to really make Aboeli struggle with his breathing here.
Yeah, every time Aboeli breathes out, just squeeze it a little bit tighter, stop him getting that oxygen in.
About to enter the final minute.
Aboeli almost ends up on top. Oh. Good job by Piechaczek there.
Very good.
Back into full mount for Piechaczek, and he's right in his corner as well.
Can he get a finish here?
His team
Really
getting
good shots by
options.
Piechaczek. Takes the back again.
Stretches him out. Tries to flatten him, but Aboeli just won't have it. He goes to one hip. Tries to roll into him.
Referee looking closely at it, but
Aboeli's eating shots this third round. He's got to be careful.
this could be, and it's called off. Piechaczek gets it done in the third and final round with just under a minute left to go. But what, gentlemen, a fight that was.
Aboeli's got almost nothing left, and he still is kind of mad that the ref stopped it because he would do anything to continue. If you told him there were 2 more rounds, he'd find a way. Both of these 2 guys. What a great fight.
Neither man can be upset with that. They left it all out there, and that was, the first round in particular, was one of the most entertaining rounds of MMA I've watched in a long time.
That body lock, it's hard for people to understand, Steph, that every time that you exhale, your body won't allow you to inhale.
And especially at that point in the fight, when he's just struggling to get some oxygen in, his body is screaming for oxygen, but the body triangle is restricting that from getting a lot out. You can't fully expand your lungs. You can't use your breathing muscles fully.
No, and you can breathe out, and then every time you do, you can't get any back in.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm most of the time I'm the guy with the body triangle.
So fun. Let's see. We got the wide shot here. Take a look at both guys. So you got one there, David, the winner, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad it's over." Now, I'm kidding, of course, because also while in it, that's been one of the most joyful experiences of his life, to be tested to this level and rise up again and again and again, over and over and over throughout that experience is one of the most exhilarating feelings in the world. But at the same time, you can be glad it's over.
And Aboeli seems to have left the cage.
You got him. They're taking him to get some water and air. I don't blame him.
Wet fighters to the center of the ring, please.
We're just waiting for Aboeli to come back into the cage now for the official fight announcement.
When first of all, ladies and gentlemen, a big applause for these 2 giants. David, Piechaczek, Marvin, Aboeli. And the winner of this fight, after 4 minutes and 21 seconds in the third round, is the man in the blue corner, David Piechaczek.
Put your hands together for both these 2 guys. Thank you, Marvin. That was a wonderful fight. Look at that man. That's a 44-year-old man who just was unbreakable. He was unbreakable, and he just kept coming. And you just had to stay with it and stay with it. Really, man. The 2 of you sometimes when people hear it was a 3-round grappling heavy fight, they don't understand what a beautiful fight you 2 put on. Thank you both for this fight.
Yeah, first of all, today is Sunday, so all glory to God and Jesus Christ, my Savior. I couldn't go to church today, so this was my mission for today. And honestly, everyone was like, "Damn, David, you're fighting a 44-year-old. But first of all, you have to understand, look at this man, the way he's built. He doesn't look like a 44-year-old.
And his mind, he was unbreakable.
I was like, damn, first round, I had like a choke. I was like, okay, I got this. He kept coming, kept answering, turning. So it really took everything out of me. So thank you for this, Marvin.
It's fights like those against people like this that make you not only a better martial artist, but a better human being.
Exactly, it's all about this. Going out of the cage today is like, I learned something about myself, which is very important. But first of all, I want to take all my coaches to me. Let's go here. I don't have the spotlight for myself. It's all with them as well. It's like George Ram is missing as well, but he's busy in the corner there. So like these guys make me the man I am today. And I mean this with all my heart. It's not me, I stand alone in the cage. But the way they are screaming every day, this makes me a man.
Well, you should all be very proud of it. And Marvin, thank you again for a wonderful fight. Your winner, David Piechaczek.
An incredible fight, Stefan, by two warriors. Absolute carnage from start to finish, high octane, everything that we love MMA for.
Yeah, for Aboeli, he hasn't fought for such a long time, and although he did not win, this is why you come back to fighting. This is the kind of experience you're looking for. He didn't end up winning, but that's also because he's got a very good young opponent in front of him today. So hats off to both these guys.
A few inches, a few centimeters, either of them could have won it in the first round. It was on an absolute knife edge.
Well, now it's time for a catch weight, 82 kilograms. Fighting out of the blue corner, Eric Odi!
So Odi is a French fighter. His only pro fight so far was a rear naked choke loss in round 1. Fighting a catchweight bout here. He normally fights at 77 kilograms, like a welterweight, but moving here to fight Miles Simpson, and he's 30 years old, second pro fight. This is going to be a big moment for him, Robin.
Move his feet, test the water a little bit, get some touches early, and good, settle into this fight.
And that'll be a tough thing to do with his opponent, Miles Simpson, who's a very storied kickboxer. So it's really about surviving that first bit of the fight, Stefan.
Yeah, and he lost his first fight by rear naked choke. I'll tell you this, he doesn't have to worry about that today. He's fighting a monster of a striker, so no worries about the rear naked chokes. Just keep your hands up and fight him on the feet.
And move your feet. Move your feet. You don't. A lot of the times when you're early in your fight career, you're thinking about what you're gonna do. Well, I'm gonna punt. I'm gonna jab, and I'm gonna throw a kick. Sometimes you forget he's gonna do stuff too. As simple as that sounds.
Simpson's got to do a lot of stuff.
That's right. He's gonna do a lot of stuff. So move your feet. Get a little sense of what's happening. Touch, hands up, settle into the fight. It doesn't have to be a big explosive clash in the first 30 seconds.
Well, then his opponent fighting out of the red corner, Miles Simpson!
So Simpson is one of these, I guess you call it, genre or funnel of fighters we have at LFL, who are these incredibly storied kickboxers. So Simpson has fought Muay Thai, he's fought one championship, glory. This is someone who's grown up in the Dutch combat kickboxing world, and LFL gives them a chance to move them away from kickboxing into the world of MMA, and it's always a joy to watch them.
Yeah, he's got, as you say, a really good striking background. He's got John Winter in his corner, who's a BJJ black belt, heavyweight pro fighter who's fought for LFL too, so he's got the right people working with him. Really looking forward to see what he's got to offer in his MMA debut. I'm really looking forward to see how he's going to bring his striking into the cage.
Yeah. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they would say, well, you got to teach him to wrestle. Now you teach him how to not wrestle, how to move your feet, how to break grips. We don't need to quote, work on our takedown defense. We need to work on moving our feet. The beginning of a takedown starts when you grab me. So when you train these kickboxers, Muay Thai fighters, even boxers, you teach them to move in ways that it's difficult to even grab them at all. Strike from distance, kick the calf, use the jab, use the front kick, be mobile, keep your guy off balance, and use footwork as an anti-wrestling. That's 10 years ago, that would have sounded nonsensical, but we see it every day, every weekend, every fight card today.
Talk about that glorious evolution of the sport, techniques and ideas that were maybe antithetical a few years ago are now part of the regular makeup. And you can hear the home crowd support here for Simpson. So let's get this fight kicked off.
Well, introducing first the man fighting out of the blue corner. 30 years old, stands in at 180 centimeters, 5 feet 9 inches. He's from France. And he's representing Boxing Center tonight. His second pro fight, ladies and gentlemen. Asura Eric Odi! His opponent in the red corner, 32 22 years old, standing at 183 centimeters, 6 feet, 1 inch. He's from Suriname, and he's representing Team Simpson. Tonight, his pro debut. Ladies and gentlemen, the Punisher, Miles Simpson! When this LFL fight in catch weight 82 kilograms is scheduled, 3 rounds of 5 minutes. Referee is Mr. Daniel Sharifi.
We can see there Simpson has the height and reach advantage, and that reach one, especially for a kickboxer, is going to be key in his victory.
You know, I set up at the beginning, if you're Eric Odie, you don't have to just come straight at him and throw punches, but I got a feeling that's exactly what he's going to do. I think he's literally just going to try to empty it.
Okay, first round.
What are you looking for the legs straight away, but good defense by Simpson there.
Good stuff by Odie, though. Take away the gap, put the head under the chin.
Movement by Simpson. Takes hand out of the cage again.
Oh, Odie's backing up.
Wild shot from Odie there.
Simpson's being very calm.
Smart. Experience. Fought in glory and won championship. He's been around, man.
You can see that in the way he throws those kicks.
It's a good knee to the body there by Simpson. Timed it while Odie came in.
And Odie used punches just to sort of put a... Uh-oh.
Simpson looking for the judo throw, for the Yochimata. Interesting.
And Simpson reversed that position. Now he's got a chance to put his body weight a little bit against Odie.
He's got an overhook.
Reverse.
Overhook with his right arm, and his left palm was inside the bicep. Now it's on the wrist. Watch for a head kick here if you're... there it is.
There's the power from Simpson again.
Oh, Odie runs him down, but it is Simpson who ends up on top.
Nice reversal.
Odie tried to make the most out of that slip.
And respect, you know. That is... to be decisive in that moment, if it went a different way, he'd be on top, but it did not go a different way.
He'd be doing the same thing.
100%. You got to go for it. He's made some gap here, but you've got to be careful when you make a gap.
And people would say, you know, he slipped, why would you do that? But the reason he slipped is because he made him slip.
That's right.
Simpson looking for some elbows here.
If I'm Simpson's team, I'm like, let's throw an elbow or two, throw a punch or two, and then back out of that open guard. We don't need... Well,
good power. Oh, he rocked him.
As soon as
he's rocked.
As soon as he got up on 1 foot, you're able to use your whole hip. Now he's going to try a ankle lock, old school ankle lock, I think here. Uh-oh. See, this is why you tell him to back out. And there you go. That's exactly what you want him to do.
Center of the cage, step back.
And go.
Yeah, Simpson.
Big smile on Odie's face.
Odie looked like he was feeling some pressure, you know, at least in his facial expression at the beginning, but now he's settled in. We're half a round in, you know?
Good knee by Simpson to the body.
Simpson will be experiencing fatigue.
Ah, beautiful.
Oh, good stuff. Odie on top now. Odie's got to get his hips back.
Good job by Simpson defensively to end up on top here.
Yeah, Odie's going to end up on the bottom.
He's back against the cage. Difficult position to be in. Dangerous position to be in against Simpson.
You want to let him up, and the second he's up, go now. Yeah.
Nice way coming in.
Good way to switch it up.
Odie is a boxer, and you see the inexperience. There's a technical stand-up sequence you can use to take away the step knee.
Simpson walks up to that
Muay Thai. This is looking ominous for Odie.
Odie gives him a smile and throws the right hand and takes another knee. He's hurt to the body. He's really hurt to the body. Turning away now.
I think Simpson.
You can stop this fight. You can absolutely stop this fight.
Very close to getting stopped.
Yeah. Referee Dan Sharifi is looking top.
Great choice. That's enough. Very good stop by Daniel. Very good stop.
When Simpson smelled blood, it was over from there.
I think Bodie tried to throw in the towel, but
they didn't need to. Daniel's a great rep. When you've got a guy turning away, it's an instinctive way that you think you're protecting yourself, but you're putting yourself in a lot of harm's way. You're going to get kicked in the head turning away like that.
A very impressive debut from Simpson when Odie tried to take him to the ground, take him out of his comfort zone. Simpson performed very well, and a lovely show of respect from Simpson towards Obi there.
Scrappy fight, but a fun one.
Not everything can be polished, or not everything beautiful has to be polished.
Looking forward to seeing more of Simpson in the cage.
Yeah, I definitely want to ask him about that. He looks tired, more tired than 3 rounds of kickboxing, I think. You watch here. There's see, he stuck him with that knee when he went to throw the right hand.
I love his body language.
See, when he's turning here, this will get you knocked out badly. And Daniel did a really good job here of protecting the fighter from his own instincts. And they were, they're the incorrect instincts. Head down, look, you're gonna eat something. Simpson's spared him there with that heavy leg kick.
I think he'd be able to go to welterweight as well. He'd be a beast at welterweight.
Will fighters to the center of the ring, please. First of all, your applause for Eric Odi and Miles Simpson. Well, the winner of this fight after 3 minutes and 37 seconds in the first round, the man in the red corner, the Punisher, Miles Simpson!
Fun fight, gentlemen. How are you, Miles? Miles, that was only a few minutes of scrapping, but it's tiring once you add this grappling and wrestling to this game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a new game, right? So I have to adjust, and yeah, my body felt good, and you'll see the result. But Amsterdam, hebben jullie genoten?
It's a different game, but in the end, it's fist fighting, and you know how to fight.
I know how to fight. They call me the Punisher for a reason. I told y'all, you can expect some punishment. That's what happened. But I want to say something, really, my opponent, I want to give him a big shout out because a lot of things happened in the last couple of weeks. I had some injuries and I couldn't do the weight cut properly. So I missed weight, and I want to give a big respect to my opponent, Erik. Listen, guys, we are fighters, but he had every reason to pull out. He didn't. He came in to fight knowing he fight a striker of a good level, so really, respect to him.
Yes. And lastly, can you come back here in the LFL cage and keep fighting mixed martial arts here in this cage?
I think that's a question for the public. Y'all want me back?
Your winner, Miles Simpson. Thank you, sir.
Unequivocal response from the crowd there. I would like to see a little bit of Miles Simpson in the cage.
I was cheering as well. I want to see more of him.
Yeah, Stefan had his shirt off, waving it around his head. It was a beautiful moment.
We don't have to share all the details, Cal.
Yeah, a fantastic fight for Simpson. Like you said, maybe he seemed to have some problems with the weight cut. Maybe he could drop down to welterweight, and he'd be a force to be reckoned with in LFL.
I think if he works with a good dietitian, no offense there, I think he can make welterweight. Yeah. He can be a beast in that weight class. He's already a monster at middleweight. Imagine him at welterweight.
Terrifying. Anyway, let's get to our next fight because we have some more fantastic combat action for you.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a ladies' fight. Catch weight, 55 kilograms. Fighting out of the blue corner, Carolina Jimenez.
Jimenez is a little bit of a veteran here. So she started a pro career with a 6-fight win streak, but have lost the last 2. This is someone with 11 pro fights, 39 years old, and this is the first fight of the year, so there's a lot of experience here, a lot of power, a little bit of a BJJ specialist, but has a fully rounded game as well. It's going to be exciting to watch her.
A very experienced opponent for Benita van Rooij. Made quite the impression at the last couple of LFLs. Looking forward to see what Carolina Jimenez has got to offer us. As you say, she's got a lot of wins by submissions. She's got a lot of losses via submission as well. So I think we're gonna see some interesting scrambles once this fight hits the deck.
It's going to be a bit live by the sword, die by the sword. But you're putting yourself into those situations where you can get a submission. Sometimes you can get a little bit too hasty and get caught. And if you do that against Benita van Rooij, how she's going to find that weakness and punish it.
Jimenez is a real legitimate professional fighter, though. She's traveled from South America to the Middle East, all over the world to compete. She doesn't mind getting on a plane and flying 3 connections to travel 30 hours and land somewhere and fight somebody in front of their home crowd. So she's got the mindset to step in and do really well tonight.
Yeah, that's grit and determination, focus. It's a hard thing to do at the best of times to fight, yet doing it on the other side of the world is another incredibly tricky ingredient to add to that stew.
When then her opponent fighting out of the red corner, Benita van Rooij!
Now, Benita van Rooij is one of our rising stars at LFL. She's fought at LFL 12 and LFL 11, so this is her 3rd event in a row, so she's staying busy. She won her last one against Lucia with a win.
When introducing first, the young lady fighting out of the blue corner. 39 years old, stands in at 166 centimeters, 5 feet, 5 inches. She's from Venezuela, and she's representing ATBJJ. She has a professional record of 11 fights, 8 victories, 3 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, Carolina Jimenez! When then her opponent in the red corner, 25 years old, stands in at 168 centimeters, 5 feet, 6 inches. She's from the Netherlands, and she's representing Vanroy Sports. 4 fights, 4 victories, Benita van Rooij! When this LFL fight, catch weight 55 kilograms, is scheduled 3 rounds of 5 minutes. Referee is Mr. Tariq Khan.
Have a look at the matchup here. Benita van Rooij, 14 years younger than her opponent. Height very, very similar, and reach tiny little bit of advantage to Van Rooij. And one thing we can expect is going to be a fast start from Van Rooij. Do not be surprised if you see her coming out swinging and aggressive and claiming that central aspect.
Every single time. It's just the way she fights.
Yeah, look at her throwing that jab already.
Jab, head movement. Trying to get a reaction out of her opponent.
Jimenez is experienced enough to not, dive underneath it or overcommit to anything. She's just settling into this first, phase of combat.
Each of them looking to control the center of the cage here, neither really looking to back up.
Van Rooij is resetting her feet, just subtly changing the angles of her feet.
You don't really see that high kickboxing guard a lot more in MMA.
Sometimes you see it more in the first couple minutes, In those first few minutes, everybody hits hard.
Benita's trying to walk Karolina down to the fence.
Nice high kick.
There, watch out for the knee.
They each have one underhook, I believe.
Van Rooij is looking for another one. Now she's looking to land some knees. Good knee to the body there.
Reversal by Jimenez.
I think Jimenez has 2 underhooks. Yeah, she does, and her hands are joined. So Van Rooij needs to pull up on that left.
Or use it against Jimenez and go for a judo throw.
Yeah.
Something Benita is very good at.
Choosing to dig the right arm underneath and get a 50-50, one control position each.
Benita was looking for the clinch, but I think she's better off fighting a stand-up fight this fight.
Yeah.
I think this is favoring Jimenez.
Yeah, Jimenez looks very much in control, very calm here.
Benita will try to turn her. She does.
She's got a body lock.
1 under, 1 over body lock.
She's got too aggressive. Now she's with her back against the fence again.
We'll see if Jimenez can convert this into a full takedown. Referee asking for a little bit more action from the pair.
Good head positioning here by Vanroy.
When people are watching this, you can really think of it as vertical jiu-jitsu.
Someone's bleeding. Don't know who it is, but...
Watch for the left knee. No, right to the body, then right to the thigh, left to the body. She did that once before, did Bonita. Now she can find a knee up the middle.
She's looking to create some distance here, I think.
Very technical start to this round so far, and the two separate and get back to some swanging and banging.
I want to see more kicks out of Vanroy.
There you go.
Just on request.
That's another. Jimenez is letting the jab come out and fire back over top.
You see that Jimenez doesn't really know how to block the kicks out of Vanroy. Good jab there by Bonita, pushing forward.
Nice little flourish from Jimenez there as well.
Yeah, and Jimenez is unpredictable and she behaves.
That
switches stances.
And that's bloodied Vanroy's nose a little bit as well.
Jimenez behaves in sort of unpredictable patterns, not your typical choices, and really arrhythmic. She's switching stances repeatedly, and it's working for her. Jimenez had a good minute now.
Yeah, that left from southpaw is working really well for Jimenez.
And as you said, Stefan, Vanroy needs to look to the kicks a little bit more. She seems to have abandoned them since she's been opened up a little bit on her face.
She's been drawn into a boxing match by Jimenez. She forgets that, you know, her kicks are really good and doing a lot of damage in this fight, early in the fight.
And Jimenez is tagging Vanroy here.
Vanroy tucks one underneath the armpit.
And again, oh, that really whipped Vanroy's head back, that left from Jimenez.
And that might teach Bonita not to kick, which is smart. Jimenez can sort of train her to stop kicking if she punches on the kicks.
Jimenez in control right now.
Yeah, I like the looks of it for her.
Body shot by Vanroy, pushing forward.
But Jimenez changed stance, backing up twice, and has landed more.
Single leg attempt by Vanroy here.
She'll go chest pressure, but there's a reach through to the Kimura by Jimenez. Now she can lift her up and turn her, and she gets it. But 20 seconds, that's a big spend to get a partial takedown.
Jimenez looking for a guillotine here.
10 seconds left.
Vanroy got the takedown, spent a lot of energy getting it.
Yeah, big spend. That's going to be a Jimenez round, I think, just on more touches, more damage.
And she really got into a flow with her boxing later on in the first round.
Yeah, at the beginning of the round, Vanroy was throwing a lot of kicks. She was getting a lot of success with the legs. You could really see it. But then after the clinch moment where Vanroy really struggled to impose herself on Jimenez, went back to the middle of the ring, and Jimenez was finding a home for those jabs and crosses.
When you watch her, even backing up, she'll switch stance, she'll step through stance as a tool to switch. She's just your training, she behaves different than most of your training partners, and that's difficult. You can start to interpret the rhythm and read the timing and gauge the gap, but that takes time. And she just spent 5 minutes, and maybe Bonita started to decipher it a little bit, but we'll see here in the first couple minutes. If you're Jimenez, if you're her coaches, you're like, hey, I like everything. Let's keep changing it up. Let's keep being unpredictable and throw lots of punches.
Blue, you ready? Red, you ready? Fight.
Okay, second round of this 3-round fight. A little bit more head movement from Vanroy here.
Yeah, she stopped doing that when she got hit a couple times, but especially when you get hit, you got to keep that head movement up. Oh, good right hand there by Vanroy.
Yeah,
she's got top position, full mount.
Full mount, and she's got some time to work here.
Doesn't want to be too quick here, yeah.
Good reversal by Jimenez.
She got a little too excited. That's sometimes you're a victim of your own finishes. If you jump on someone and finish him and it works in 2 or 3 fights in a row, you think it'll always work. But as your opponents get higher level, it's tougher to complete that. Now she'll try armbar here. It's not there.
Completely understandable after that first round of Vanroy then to be in that kind of situation and to get too excited.
There's a choke here. You can use it to reset. You try to move to a mount with this choke. It's
Arming guillotine's gonna be difficult to finish there, but she can go to an anaconda, she can set up a Darce choke.
Or she can mount with it and then roll back into it.
If she can mount this guillotine, then she can really put pressure on the neck of Vanroy.
Turn her into it, yeah.
There she goes.
Vanroy's still got Jimenez's leg locked there.
It's very important for Vanroy to keep that.
Yeah, keep her close. So you see the neck on the left side, you can see the ear. If you can see the ear and you can see the neck, the blood can get through there.
You can see Vanroy happy that Jimenez had to separate her hands there and get a little bit of air.
But you also see how red her face is getting. Like one side's blocked. One artery was being blocked. Vanroy's coming up now. Vanroy's going to end up on top here. Yeah. Oh!
Jimenez.
Yes, good stuff.
The timing on the reversals by Jimenez is excellent.
Jimenez might be just, you know, Vanroy is fighting tougher and tougher opponents, but this might be a two-stair jump. It's a bigger jump in skill than she's ever faced before.
And Jimenez going for that. Oh, no, dropped it. Looked like she was going for that same arm.
The underhook again. Good job by Vanroy to get back up.
Remember, Vanroy dropped her with a straight right that started that sequence. Committed straight right. That one.
Good job by Jimenez there. Head movement now as well from Vanroy.
There's the right again. Double right, triple right. Now she'll get her. Well,
got the legs.
Yeah.
There's the finish. Good job by Vanroy, but
2.5 minutes here. You want to, if you're Benita van Rooij, you want to get a settle. You want to settle and breathe. Establish a solid control position and get a breath.
For Jimenez, she wants to push the head of Vanroy down. Use it to get back up. Now she's
got the feet.
A bad position. Good job there. Good knee by Vanroy.
And Vanroy using her kicks again.
It's a good right hand there by Jimenez. And another fun fight, man.
Yeah, really great fight.
Benita van Rooij is never in a boring fight.
No, but Jimenez is a higher level test than Van Rooij has faced by far in lots of different areas.
And that's good, because that's exactly what she needs to get further in her career.
It's tough when there's 2 or 3 or 4 areas she's the best she faced. She's unpredictable on the feet as Jimenez. She's really...
right hand again. Ground and pound by Van Rooij.
Remember, she got reversed last time. She got too excited when she landed that right.
Vanroy now trying to throw some hammer fists.
She's got to create distance and let her hands go again. She wants to get her right arm from that grip out of Jimenez.
So she got the left. If she can control the bicep or the armpit with the left hand. There, she can rotate in. Now she got the bicep. She turns herself and she'll jam the neck against the cage. There she goes.
Interesting.
Now you go 1 foot up, right? Whichever side the foot goes to the mat, that hip can turn, and that fist is now loaded, right? Watch. Let's see if she does it.
You don't see this a lot, but when someone keeps a close guard, this is actually a really good position to go to.
Yeah. Yeah, it often forces them to open the guard, but if they don't open it, you can squash him here. So watch, which foot does she put the pad down? Whichever foot she'll put the pad of the foot down, that hip becomes loaded with potential energy to fire off the same side punch. Watch, there. Now it's the left hand. Left hand is ready to punch.
Vanroy was looking to pass the guard, but unsuccessful.
Yep. Jimenez has done a fantastic job of just stalling and not really allowing her to work here.
Jimenez, we thought won round 1. Jimenez had a good round 2, but Van Rooij dropped her twice with right hands and is doing this on top.
Definitely Van Rooij's round, but then you got to wonder, is it a 10-8 round?
I don't think they'll see it that way, even though she dropped twice. Even though she dropped her twice.
And a strong hand, strong finish of the round.
There's not enough damage, I think, for a lot of these judges. I'm never judging for what I would do. I'm always thinking, what would they do? Because that's what matters, right? You know, at home when we're watching, somebody will say, well, we'll be on Twitter, I had it 10-9. It is irrelevant what we had.
You know what the crazy thing is? You never know what they do.
Yeah, I know. But there's one right hand. But you see their behavior of a lot of these judges enough, and without a big cut or a lot of damage or close to finishing, there's another right hand. And this time she was more settled and measured in what she did when she got on top.
It's so difficult to not jump on your opponent when you have him hurt like that. You want to close the distance, but Bonita did it better the second time. She kept the distance and was able to land some more big right hands.
That ability to learn as you go is such a beautiful thing.
And you can see some of the marks on Jimenez's face there from those shots that Benita van Rooij has been dropping.
So a round apiece, presumably.
Round 3, fight.
Everything on this third and final round. Can Benita van Rooij stay in the ascendancy or Jimenez pull it back?
It's the pressure immediately from Benita van Rooij again.
So
to set up that big right again.
Yeah, it was 2 straight rights that did the most, were the 2 biggest punches of the fight, the 10 minutes so far.
Good, she's using the kicks again, and Jimenez comes back with one of her own.
When Jimenez switches to southpaw, that's when the right hand is there too.
It's a good jab there by Benita van Rooij.
And, you know, Jimenez does really well backing up. That's been one of the challenges in this fight.
Level change there by Jimenez.
Van Rooij digs immediately underneath.
Oh, nice shot.
There's 2 more rights.
Jimenez looking for the tie plum, but Benita does a good job with the head position to deny that.
There's an elbow from Jimenez.
Good left hand there by Jimenez as well.
They're trading some big blows.
I like watching both of them fight, but Jimenez is a really, really unpredictable, entertaining scrapper.
And when you do this when you're almost 40 years old, you know she loves it.
Out of passion. Like I said, some of these flights are 30 hours to the Middle East to fight a hometown hero, or to the Netherlands to fight a popular Dutch fighter, and she's happy to do it and shows up to fight.
It's what I loved in my career as well. Who gets that opportunity to travel that much?
That's right.
Nice couple of knees.
Of course you have to fight, but you know, I was pretty good at it. And she's good at it too.
They're both good at it, and they're both cut out for it. You know, as much as Jimenez at 40 is doing it out of love and passion for it, Van Rooij is committed to this. This is all she wants to do for the next 10 years of her life, is fight people in cages.
She's very focused in his third round. Good leg kick there. There's a good
another one.
Another right hand. Gotta get that right hand going again. There it is. Good stop from Jimenez. This is going to be vital for both. Yeah,
nice balance there by Van Rooij.
Fights out of it.
Van Rooij's looking like the fresher fighter.
Seems to have found another level, another gear change.
It's that lifelong athletics career.
Another shot there.
Right hand again.
Jimenez is starting to totter, look a bit wobbly on her feet.
To keep that focus when you're this tired, it's a difficult thing. But once you get in that flow and you land a couple shots, I think that's where Van Rooij is right now.
Yeah, and
good right hand there.
It's almost like she's watching herself fight now. She doesn't have to think. She just, and that's true of both of them right now. There's very little conscious thought here.
If she keeps this up, in my opinion, she wins this fight.
But Van Rooij has done this a couple of times now, where she's finding ascendancy on the feet and then accepts a clinch.
Yeah. Van Rooij is punching through the clinch, though, and she elbowed through it as well.
1-2 is working nicely for her again.
Steph mentioned basics tonight. I mean, Van Rooij's whole game is built around basics.
I want to see more leg kicks.
Advanced fundamentals.
Good left hook there by Jimenez.
Jimenez still in this fight.
Yeah, Jimenez seems to have got a little bit more pep back in her.
It's a good right hand there by Van Rooij again. Minute 10 to go.
Good.
A good right hand there by Van Rooij.
Good few minutes. This is Van Rooij saying, you're going to have to shut my lights out to beat me. I'm going to push through whatever you have. And Jimenez is like, okay, I'll try. Try to put your lights out.
And you can see the damage both of them are wearing. This has been a tough, gnarly fight for each of them.
Jimenez has got to do something big to win this fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
30 seconds left for Van Rooij to keep this pressure up and win this fight.
The next...
Some of the sting has gone out of Jimenez's shots and they're coming back, but Van Rooij is throwing.
Yeah, She's just ravenous to win this fight. The next stage of Van Rooij's career is actually dropping her hands a little bit and getting more mobile in the upper body. Of course, that sounds crazy to people.
Right hand again.
Her hands up high are not as beneficial to her as it is in kickboxing.
Really good third round by Benita van Rooij. In my opinion, she's got it in the bag.
I think so.
Terrific fight, very close, but at the end it just seemed like Van Rooij had another level she was able to go to that Jimenez just couldn't quite hang with.
Listen, you know, Jimenez on paper, analytically, if we watch them both train and fight, is better. She has more evolved skills, more experience, is a little more unpredictable, but Van Rooij was like, I'm gonna get that good and better over the next years of training, and tonight my desire to win is gonna supersede your skill set. And we saw that in round 2 and 3. That is possible, to take somebody who's slightly better than you and beat them with will, and she did that. That's, I believe, that's what Van Rooij did tonight.
I think especially in the third round, you could see that the will to win led her to be very focused, to keep that distance, to keep her pushing the fight and win the third round and win the fight.
It's still a fantastic job. Still a few things for Van Rooij and her team to look at. She dropped leg kicks when they were working very well for her, and in parts of the fight, maybe a bit too reliant on clinch work that didn't go exactly her way all the time. But yeah, still only 25 years old, and the sky's the limit for her.
When fighters to the center of the ring, please. When first of all, ladies and gentlemen, in Amsterdam, a big round of applause for both ladies, Karolina and Bonita. When after 3 rounds, you carry the points and the winner is the young lady in the red corner, Benita van Rooij.
Great fight, ladies. Thank you for a wonderful fight. Great fight, thank you. Benita, man, that had to just be an invigorating, thrilling experience to have that fight.
Yeah. I want to say hello, but I don't know why. I'm happy.
You know, analytically speaking, you're a young fighter. Analytically speaking, she's a little better than you in a lot of areas, but your will to win superseded that, and you won literally with your desire to win.
I know. I don't know what I have to say.
You don't have to say anything. Thank you for a wonderful fight. Thank you, people.
I need to say one thing. Maybe it's crazy, but this fight happening with LFL and boss my choice Saskia, I'm blessed with that and my corners, because if they don't do that, I can fight. So I'm happy with that, and yeah.
So, you look good bloodied up, by the way. You really do. But listen, you can learn, you can improve the skills of punching and kicking and grappling, but you can't develop what you showed tonight, which is heart and desire and grit and courage. And thank you for showing us that.
Thank you.
Bonita van Rooij.
A truly excellent performance from Bonita van Rooij there. Her previous 2 fights, we said, have been finishes, and this one showed a completely different performance, to be a different type of striker or different type of MMA athlete, where she had to put her teeth together, bite down, and just grit her way through the performance. Incredible work from Van Rooij, and yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see where she goes next, and you can be certain you'll see more of her on LFL in the future. Now I believe we have a short intermission, so have a cup of tea, a little toilet break, and we'll be back very soon for our final 3 fights of the evening.
Wanneer je wilt, dames en heren, we gaan kort pauzeren. I welcome you for the levels fight.
Simpson. I'm fighting at a catch weight of 82 kilo. Yeah, how I started my combat story, I was a very young guy. One of my friends, he took me to the gym. There were a lot of people sparring, and I never saw sparring footage. And I was like, whoa, this is something for me. This is something I can use for my anger. This is something that's gonna keep me calm and collected throughout life. And then at the age of 17, I became pro. I think this is it. I think this really can be my world. And from there on, I took off, and I really never looked back. If I can do this in this set of rules, what can I do in MMA world? And I was really intrigued by it. And I saw my other brothers, such as Nika Tchikhinachvili, fighting at the highest level of UFC. If he can do it, maybe I can do it. And if there's a maybe, I should try it, you know? And I should go for it. Same thing that fooled me during my kickboxing career. Same view I have now for this MMA journey. Vision for MMA is like same as kickboxing, you know, to become a champion. Good start is always a good end, so I really focused on my first fight. From there, I can talk more about it. For me, it's very important that I play my own fight game, you know. I won't let him dictate the pace. I'm a complete fighter. I can adapt to any situation, and I believe I can also adapt to any situation he gonna try to push on fight night. I can do everything from different angles, from every angle. You name it, I can do it all. My nickname is the Punisher, so you can expect punishment. I'm LFL contender Simpson. Watch me fight live in Amsterdam on 25 August, only on Viaplay.
I welcome you to the Levels Fight League.
So here we go.
Jij bent vandaag de baas hier.
I'm not here to try and get points. I'm here to knock people the fuck out.
Ik ben Benita van Rooij en ik kom uit voor Van Buursport in Os. Ja, ik ben eigenlijk niet net zoals iedereen. Ik ben niet al heel jong begonnen. Op een gegeven moment ben ik begonnen met kickboksen bij ons in het dorp. Maar het was het net niet. Ik heb een eerste les MMA gedraaid en ja, ik was gelijk verkocht. Echt mijn passie, ook sessie denk ik. Ik ga echt al in. Alles moet hier echt voor wijken. Echt alles. Eerste keer bij LFL. Het was mijn eerste MMA-partij. Ik weet nog goed dat ik die kooi daarin stapte. En ik was daar echt alleen en ik liep daar rond en ik dacht echt wauw. Ja, dit is echt wat ik wil. Ik kwam wel in een positie terecht, armbar. Ja, en toen dacht ik wel bij mezelf, ja, je breekt mijn arm hier maar dan tap ik niet, dan vecht ik wel met eentje verder. En toen kwam ik op haar rug en toen werd ik wel, dacht ik echt, nou laat ik echt niet meer los. Ja, toen had ik gewonnen, super blij. Voor mezelf denk ik wel heb geleerd dat je nooit zomaar moet opgeven, dus niet opgeven. Naar het hoogst haalbare gaan en natuurlijk UFC. En nu lach ik, maar ik ben wel heel dedicated. De kooi instap, dan ben ik gewoon echt een ander persoon en ik ga echt all in.
Hey, what up, champ? How you doing? What's up? Get it. You're gonna win. Come on, harder. Come on. Hands are good and fast. We're ready to go. We're ready to get this win. Let's go.
My name's Shah Kamali, I'm from London and I'm fighting out of Fight Zone in Bethnal Green, East London. This is all I do. Got big ambitions in this sport, so I'm gonna, dedicate myself completely to it. And you see it on fight night how I perform, so you can see how much it means. I don't take this lightly, and I don't take my opponent lightly, but I'm very confident in the preparation that we're doing. So anywhere he wants to take the fight, I'm comfortable. Anywhere I want to take the fight, I'm comfortable as well. So.
Young Metro, trust you on the street.
I'm Nika Tchikhinachvili. I fight at middleweight and I fight from Team Den Haag. So I just came back from a month in Georgia. I think the most important thing that I learned from there was the mentality and seeing how the people are there. The difference is that they take nothing for granted. You can come home from a hard training, out of nowhere there's no power, there's no electricity, unpredictable moments like this. There's just no comfort. I noticed that there's very little emphasis on techniques during training and a lot about taking everything to the maximum, picking him up as high as you can, throwing him away as high as you can, just hurting him. Just everything is about that. And you could feel the war was still pretty close with Russia in 2008. It's just something else. When you're around that kind of people, there's a different kind of respect. I'm fighting Clyde Brunswijk. He's a good kickboxer. I believe he fought in Glory, which is nice, but I'm not necessarily worried about that. Kickboxing, MMA is something completely different. It's my turn now to stand in the spotlight. It's just another face in front of me. There's no what if this fails, what if this happens. Doesn't matter which bone I break. It's not talk. I prove that to myself, and I think everyone feels it when they look in my eyes during the weigh-ins. If you wake me up in the middle of the night, you tell me, we gotta go, we have to fight now, I'm there with you. I want to be next to names like John Jones and GSP and Habib, and I don't see why, like I said before, they're all just men. They breathe the same air as me, they bleed the same red blood, and there's nothing that I don't understand why they have anything that I don't have, or why they could do something that I cannot do. There's not something like that. I'm LFL fighter Nika Tchikhinachvili. Watch me fight live in Amsterdam, 25th of August, only on Viaplay.
Hey, what up, champ? How you doing? What's up? Get it. You gotta win. Come on, harder. Come on. Hands are good and fast. We're ready to go. We're ready to get this win. Let's go.
My name is Soufyan Arab, and I'm fighting for the heavyweight title, and I'm fighting for Team Musasi. My training camp up until this point is going really good, and of course I'm making adjustments, so this is a very specific, very dangerous opponent, so I have to make specific adjustments for him. But up until now it's going really good, and I can't wait to show it. There's training and there's also studying, and that's a big part of it, so I have to study my opponent. I'm very confident I will go home with the victory. I will train really hard for this fight, so I know that I will be very well prepared, so the nerves are going to be low, so I can perform the best. Of course I think I'm ready for the title. If I wasn't ready, I wouldn't be campaigning to get it, so I finally got it, and I'm very confident that I will get home the belt. Yeah, so I'm fighting for the title, which is going to be 5 times, 5 minutes round. That's going to be a new challenge for me. But I'm simulating those rounds very well in the gym, so I don't have to worry about my conditioning in the fight. My determination, my will to win, that separates me from everyone else. I have a very different style to what most people are accustomed to fight in the heavyweight division. So they're going to have to fight down, he's going to have to keep me on distance, but it's very hard to keep me on the distance because I'm a very stubborn guy. There's going to be a lot of tension, a lot of nerves, there's going to be a build-up. It's cautiousness, it's my determination to win. That's the only nerves that come up. But other than that, and after that, the fight, I always get home with my hands raised, and this time with the belt. I'm not much of a trash talker or anything. I let my fighting do the talking, and I'm going to make sure that 25th of August, I'm going to make sure you're going to feel it. I'm LFL heavyweight title contender Soufyan Arab. Watch me fight live in Amsterdam, 25th of August, only on Viaplay.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the heavyweights. Fighting out of the blue corner, Arya Hosseini!
So Hosseini, a bit of a veteran. He had his first pro fight back in 2010. So I was just about to leave school at that time, and this man was already a pro MMA fighter.
Yeah, he's a heavy hitter. I mean, look at him, you know. Look at the way he turns his punches. When the hips go into it and you're this size, people go to sleep, right? And, you know, we've got, in our main event, a couple fights from now, we've got the vacant heavyweight title up. And we've seen Mario Pinto was our champion. You know, when you're a champion here, if and when the time is right, and you're going to move on to fight somewhere else, Bellator, PFL, UFC, you're gonna do so with our blessing. So becoming the champion here is a big step. It's a big step in your career. So this fight is very important. The winner of this fight presumably will fight the winner of our main event in the future.
Yeah, and Hosseini had a very entertaining fight with Thomas Narmo back in LFL 9. It was a slugfest. Surprisingly for a heavyweight bout, it actually went 3 rounds, something that I don't think is going to happen this evening, but
I would be shocked.
You can never know.
Yeah, I would be shocked.
He's got a lot of power, and although he's got a losing record, I'll tell you this, you won't find a better fighter with a record like his. I've grappled with him, I've wrestled with him. He's very good, he's very strong. And in my opinion, he hasn't showed that enough in the cage. He lost a bunch of fights, which in my opinion, he should have won with his skill set. So looking forward to see if he brings his skill set to the cage tonight.
Yeah, he has all the raw ingredients to be
100%
an excellent fighter, but sometimes they don't always cook together in the right way, and tonight could be his night.
It's also, you know, at heavyweight, 36 years old is getting up there if you're a 145-pound fighter, but 36 at heavyweight with experience, you're actually just at the end of your prime still.
Well, then, here's opponent fighting out of the red corner, Shah Kamali!
Shah Kamali, one of the best heavyweight prospects going at the minute. This is only his 3rd pro fight, but he had a 7-0 amateur win, which has been one of the big topics of conversation this evening, as well as iron sharpening iron. Now, Kamali is a teammate with Mario Pinto, the former LFL heavyweight champion, and who's now fighting on Dana White's Contender Series. An incredible talent. To have another heavyweight that you can train with in the gym of such high quality, Stefan, is incredibly valuable.
Yeah, and that's just Mario Pinto. He's got Stuart Austin in his corner, who's one of the best heavyweights in Europe. Also, talk about scary corners. Gebek Mousasi and Gökhan Sarıçam in the corner of Arya Hosseini. And then you got Stuart Austin in the corner of Shah Kamali. He had an incredible fun fight on the last LFL show, fighting the Brazilian Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
That was explosive. Never seen 2 guys that size move that fast.
It was a slobber knocker in every word. And Shah Kamali, he comes out, he throws down, he's aggressive, he's strong. I think round 2 might be the furthest he's ever gone in his career. LFL 10 and LFL 11, he both won in round 1. And
at 11, it was a tough round 1 too. He wasn't, whether it was an injury or an illness, I forget what it was, but he toughed through it and he won in round 1.
I think he got dropped twice.
Well, introducing first the man fighting out of the blue corner. 36 years old, stands in at 188 centimeters, 6 feet 2 inches. He's from the Netherlands and he represents Mike's Gym. 17 pro fights on his record, ladies and gentlemen. Arya Hosseini! His opponent in the red corner, 25 years old, stands in at 190 centimeters, 6 feet 3 inches. He's from Bangladesh, lives in London. He's training at the Fight Zone London. 2 fights, 2 victories. Shah Kamali! Well, his LFL fight in the heavyweight division is scheduled. 3 rounds of 5 minutes. The referee is Mr. Tariq Khan.
Kamali having that undefeated amateur record and then having, you know, a tough, you know, not performing at his best, but also being ill or injured. I forget what it was. And like Steph said, being knocked down twice in that round and overcoming. It's actually a really important fight for him to have a hard fight and find a way to win.
And you can see very similar stats between the pair of them, with only reach being too dissimilar. Okay, blink and you'll miss it. This heavyweight battle between Kamali and Husini. Calm before the storm here.
Husini's experience is going to be really useful here.
That's probably a good move from Husini, just try and take some of the zip, some of the pep out of those shots from Kamali.
He's also very good in these positions.
Yeah, he might end up on top, and he'll do it subtle and smart, small steps.
Very good throws as well, so the moment he off bounds is Shah Kamali. I expect him to go for those throws.
You might not be able to tell from you know, watching it on the screen, but man, Kamali's thighs are big. Like the tree trunk's bigger than my waist by far. It's like 2 people in those 2 thighs. Big dude.
Am I looking for that overhand right?
Kamali, down from Hosseini. Good job there.
Hosseini.
He drew out that overhand. Uh-oh. Kamali just up with the stiff arm and then a punch and another.
There's the overhand. That landed. Got him hurt.
Uppercut on the way out and overhand on the way back in. High kick.
And a head kick. Another overhand. This could be it. It's over. Oh, my days. 1.5 minutes in round 1 was all it took for Shah Kamali to end this fight.
Terrifying. When he stiff-armed that takedown, he threw a little uppercut underneath that stunned him. Then the overhand and then the head kick. It just was all so sudden.
He won the fight when he got back up to his feet. Made a statement there and really broke his opponent mentally, in my opinion.
And hurt him on the way up, too. You know, they stopped the takedown, made him pay for trying, and then punched on the way in. So we'll see that whole sequence again. Watch. So he'll stop the takedown. No, this is
second overhand.
This is after. Yeah, this is after. It goes to the. Yeah, that was
right hand.
Yeah, right hand on the way back in. A couple other punches. Hurts him there. The left hurts him, and then bink. And he's got him just shelled up. It's just too much. And another one to the ear.
See the last right coming. Those are the ones that hurt the most.
And when you just tuck a punch behind the ear, it actually can really destabilize the whole body.
Fighters to the center of the ring, please. Your applause, ladies and gentlemen, for these 2 giants, Arya Hosseini and Shah Kamali. The winner of this fight, after 1 minute and 25 seconds in the first round by technical knockout, is the man in the red corner, Shah Kamali.
No surprise with the first round finish there, Callum.
Shah Kamali, ladies and gentlemen. You, once you defended that one takedown, you gave him a little shot on the way up, and then it was just blitz offense.
Yeah, I knew he was going to try and clinch me, and part of the game plan was coming straight through the middle with some uppercuts and things like that to catch him. But yeah, I just wanted to get in and have a good performance after my last one. You know, I was rushing my last one. I took a little bit more time on this one. Felt good, and that's the main thing.
Did you find the right balance here, the right stew between aggression and serenity, like calm within the chaos tonight?
Yeah, I felt that way. Well, you know what? It's another first round finish for me, you know? That's 9 in a row now. And yeah, they don't call me Triple B for no reason. Big Bang La Banger. And I always come to bang.
Yes, sir, and you're gonna watch this main event for the heavyweight title. You want the winner of that fight for the title, yes?
Listen, Donovan, let's make it a one-night tournament. I'm ready to go. I've got a lot more in the tank.
Your winner, Shah Kamali, ladies and gentlemen.
As you were saying, Stefan, arguably surprising result here, a one-round knockout from Shah Kamali again, and fantastic that he's calling for another heavyweight tournament, which would watch.
He wants to do it tonight.
Yeah, I think he means right now.
Well, even wilder if that's the case. But yeah, what an incredible talent, and with our heavyweight title fight coming up later, Shah Kamali has got to be next in line
100%
for that.
Dude can fight, man. Scary heavyweight.
The athleticism, like both of you were talking about, when he gets that takedown, jumps up, and again, as a heavyweight being 25 years old, the sky is really the limit.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the co-main event of the evening in the middleweight division. Fighting out of the blue corner, Nika Tchikhinachvili.
Tchikhinachvili is one of those products of LFL that, you know, as we've gotten to our 13th event now, and we've seen all the amateur, all the new talent events come through, and there's this through line of these young, exciting fighters that come through, test themselves in the amateur leagues, then move up into the pro bouts, and Nika Tchikhinachvili is one of the most impressive that we've seen come through this pathway. He's incredibly well-rounded, a typical modern MMA fighter where he doesn't have a single point of excellence. It's everything is done, and he's been a fantastic, real joy to watch.
Yeah, you know, you make a great point with that. We still talk about fighting. We'll say his striking is this and his wrestling is this. Truthfully, these young fighters, there's the boundaries between these elements are all but gone. They're just free fighting all the time. And he's also super athletic and mentally very, very tough. Fun to watch him fight. Both of these guys are not massively experienced, but both of them are taking a step up here against each other.
2 great wins so far in his career, but the lone loss in his pro career may have been the most impressive thing, because he broke his jaw in the first round and just kept going, kept fighting. I couldn't tell something was wrong with him. He kept going, and it says a lot when you have that kind of willpower.
Yeah, and the ability to mask it, you know. There's a lot of things. You watch tens of thousands of fights, commentate 500-600 shows, you know. You see these things, we see them. And when we can't, when Stefan Struve is sitting here, cornered 24 UFC fights, commentated hundreds of fights now, cornered dozens of people, when you can't tell that a jaw is broken, that's an incredible mental strength. You know, poker face is the slang for it. It's a wild thing. It shows a real mental toughness.
You can see the love the crowd has for him.
When then his opponent fighting out of the red corner from Suriname, Clyde Brunswijk!
Brunswijk is another one of those fighters that we've spoken about, sort of becoming that LFL mold of a famed kickboxer coming through and using LFL to sharpen their skills and develop from a sole striking athlete into a fully rounded MMA one. I think Brunswijk is what's been most impressive is he had his first pro MMA fight on LFL 1, which he lost via decision all the way back in 2021. Since then, he's gone on a 4-fight winning streak. He's improved his wrestling, he's improved his grappling game, his clinching. He's gone away and worked and really rounded out his game. And as you said earlier, Stefan, this is easily his biggest challenge so far.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed watching his last fight, because he got put in a couple situations where, you know, it was a question, is he developed enough in those areas right now? And the answer was yes, because he was in a rear naked choke, he was underneath his opponent, and he came back on top and he won the fight.
Nika's going to try to put him in those positions again and add a twist or two to them. You know, it's so fascinating when you see a kid, we talked about in Nika, who just developed it all as one. This is the opposite. This is a specialist who had added layers back into it. And we will see the generalist versus the improved specialist.
And Brunswijk is training in the same camp as Aboeli earlier, so that means Bosch is in his corner, one of the most highly decorated Dutch wrestlers of all time. He's going to be putting Brunswijk through some hard rounds to work on his wrestling, because Tchikhinachvili, that's going to be his point of attack. That's going to see where he can differentiate himself. And if Brunswijk can stop that, well, then he has a real chance of beating him on his feet.
I love watching Brunswijk fight, and both of these guys, so we're in for a treat. And remember, the middleweight title is vacant now, so these two guys will be demanding it after this.
When introducing first the man fighting out of the blue corner, 23 years old, stands in at 182 centimeters, 6 feet. He's from Georgia, and he's representing Team De Jager. 3 fights, professional fights on his record, 2 victories, 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, Nika Tchikhinachvili! Here's opponent in the red corner, 31 years old, stands in at 193 centimeters, 6 feet, 3 inches. He's from Suriname, and he's representing Juice Fit and Days Gym. 5 professional fights on his record, 4 victories, 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, Clyde Brunswijk! Where this LFL co-main event of the evening in the middleweight division is scheduled. 3 rounds, 5 minutes. Referee is Mr. Daniel Sharifi.
Watching those two stare each other down, there is murder in their eyes.
Reminds me of Pereira and Prohaska.
Yeah. We can see here Brunswijk has a big reach and height advantage.
He also has more MMA fights, but you add, you know, striking, kickboxing, there's 70 fights, and he's only 31. So
gotta stay long.
A co-main event of the evening.
Tchikhinachvili wanted this fight, though. So, you know, he believes he's got the skills and the ability and the mindset to be able to put this man on his back and smash his face in.
To make a real statement and potentially earn a title shot here, as we just mentioned.
You see both of them just feeling each other out here.
Interesting to see that low stance of Brunswijk.
So Brunswijk's hands down, he can get underneath when it comes. And what he's showing him is little fake uppercuts and fake knees to kind of create the hot zone so that Nika hesitates to drop down and drive in on his hips.
They're just trading some leg kicks at the moment.
Really good timing on the leg kicks by Tchikhinachvili.
Brunswijk wants to tell Tchikhinachvili that it is too dangerous to shoot now. So that's why he shows all those little fakes. See that hip fake? Saying, yeah.
Calf kicks by Tchikhinachvili, though.
Really smart, really smart.
We'll get a reaction out of Brunswijk soon. So Brunswijk needs to react.
So Brunswijk wants to fight long, big distance, right? Yep. Tchikhinachvili's like, I'll take my longest weapon, low kick, and hit your closest target, your calf, right? So you can't stay all the way out if I smash your calf in. You have to come in closer, which will make it easier for me to take you down if you're Nika.
And the reason why he's able to land those calf kicks is the low stance of Brunswijk. I mean, he's afraid of the takedowns, of course, but that low stance makes it difficult for him to block the leg kicks of Tchikhinachvili.
Yeah, it's, you know, often we'll think, well, what does he need to do here? Well, he needs to be at distance. Okay, so kick his leg. Okay, so he needs to move closer. Like everything, it's a dynamic game.
You know what I like? When Tchikhinachvili kicks the leg, he doesn't look to the leg. He keeps his eyes on Brunswijk.
These two are locked in.
Looking for that reaction to close the distance and then go for the takedown, of course.
Very smart so far by Nika Tchikhinachvili.
Talking about the corners, Richard Hove, Henry Hove's brother, in the corner of Tchikhinachvili. Goes and helps his brother, the head coach of Kill Cliff FC. A lot of times, talk about high-level experience in your corner.
And you see it in the tactics, right? The tactics are wise. You want to take down, kick the leg, get him to move closer, time it. And you're seeing Nika throw the odd hook that he knows isn't going to land, but he's trying to gauge the response and get underneath the response and get all the way in on the hips.
You can see he had Tchikhinachvili threw a few unanswered leg kicks at the beginning, but last one he threw, Brunswijk came through with a straight to...
You notice Nika throws the overhand right and steps through with his right. Next time he throws it, he might drive all the way into the hips. He'll throw the right hand, step in, and then drive to the hips.
It's a good push kick there by Tchikhinachvili to switch it up. Keep Brunswijk guessing.
A little shake of the head from Brunswijk there.
Smart fight so far by young Nika.
Beautiful head movement there.
And this is the definition so far of a physical chess match. They're both just moving the opening pawns, just setting up their position on the board.
Yeah, they're putting mental chess pieces in play.
That was a good jab by Clyde Brunswijk there.
See, Nika can land the right hand, and if Clyde doesn't react in a particular way, he'll drive through it into the takedown.
It's another good calf kick there.
A very high-level fight. Tactically very smart.
And you can see the respect each one has for the other. Right?
Just so many dangers being shown here.
Tchikhinachvili switching it up a lot, trying to get different reactions out of Brunswijk.
Brunswijk really wants to land something this round to kind of change. Nika's going to have a lot of confidence in all of this tactics and strategies he's playing so far.
Not a good calf kick there.
There's one back, and that's what he's...
Lovely work from Tchikhinachvili there, the little side kick to the knee and then coming forward with a 1-2.
Oh, there he goes. There by Brunswijk. Good push forward by Tchikhinachvili, but good job to spin around by Brunswijk.
Yeah, you sometimes, and now there's only 5 seconds left, so Brunswijk can just kind of close it down.
The end of the first round.
That was probably Tchikhinachvili's round either way, but with that little stumble at the end, you know, Brunswijk was actually very lucky that it took place when it did.
I think Tchikhinachvili is going to step it up in the second round.
Yeah. But that's a really smart fight.
A very tactical move. Tchikhinachvili spent a lot of time attacking Brunswijk's legs, didn't really take much damage in response. And then near the end went in for that clinch.
He's also stepping through on some of his punches. So there, see, he's ready for when the chance comes. You saw it right there. For when one door opens, he's going to get right in it. He doesn't need a door. He just needs a sliver.
Seconds out for the second round.
So if we had to put our judges' hat on, it looks like it's a round to Tchikhinachvili, but neither corner could be confident that they definitely have that round.
Well, I would tell Clyde that we lost it. You want him to believe you lost it and behave accordingly.
More pressure immediately from Brunswijk. Closing the distance on Tchikhinachvili. Big riding step. Tchikhinachvili connected though. Brunswijk has to be more active in the second round in order to win this fight, but it also opens it up for the takedown more.
You know, another thing that Nika did really well in round one was disregard the feints, right? If commentators around the world are to be believed...
Oh, big left hook.
Beautiful.
Tchikhinachvili. There he's got it. And that beautiful job by Tchikhinachvili, but Brunswijk is still up. That was a illegal elbow, I think, although not illegal anymore.
And Nika's got that.
So Nika's got a
Pakistani-style leg position.
So Brunswijk's doing good to keep the head lower than the hips, but this is really a super low mount, right? It's not a, now it's not, but
he's got to take his time here.
That's a low mount, right?
It could be here.
Now he's going to feed the hand to the wrist. Yep, now you're right. This is the Dagestani wrist ride right here. He's going to pound underneath, and that'll open up access for the feet to try to take the back, or he pounds.
And this is exactly where Brunswijk did not want to be against
Tchikhinachvili is a real problem to have on top of you with that strong body of his. He's got the leg hooked.
Yeah, he's going to ride the one hip, control the far wrist.
Just waiting for Brunswijk to give up some space.
Brunswijk's got one foot on the ground. As soon as the second one touches, he wants, no, Nika's still going to ride that. Now he's going to ride the other hip.
Smart job by Tchikhinachvili to get his leg out.
You can stand here if you're Clyde. Your feet, no, he's going to try to turn. He's going to get mounted.
Defending well, though, so far, Brunswijk is.
Yeah, Brunswijk wants the second toes touch the mat, he wants to explode to his feet. So at least you straighten your own body. Now he's got one foot down.
He's gonna get back to his...
Yeah, but he's laced that leg. The second one foot gets down, Nika laces that leg.
Taking his time. Looking for some space to go to a better position, but also very wary of Brunswijk getting back to his feet.
It's very demoralizing when you have someone on your back that you just cannot get off.
You train for it not to demoralize you. You train for it to just be what it is, and you accept it for what it is.
A couple of good knees there by Tchikhinachvili, but good job by Brunswijk to get back to his feet as a statement. Good elbow.
Nika's going to go in on the takedown again.
That left hook is money for Tchikhinachvili.
Brunswijk needs to up the ante a little bit here if he's going to get back into it.
Nika,
when you have that kind of kickboxing background.
Nika has not bit on a single feint. Feints, no matter how good the fighter is, if they're not real, they only work so well. The more people feint, the more you get immune to them.
Oh, big right hand there by Brunswijk.
Yeah, that's nice. That's his best punch so far.
Tchikhinachvili barely blinked, though. Oh, but great timing by Tchikhinachvili. Beautiful job there with the takedown. He's got 1:20 to work.
That's a great choice. You're in here, and no doubt he's been training to, when he's on his back, free an elbow and try to cut his man, because it's a skill. The skill of cutting elbows has been something he's been training his whole life, so you can implement it off your back, too. Nika's strategy here is bury the head in the sternum and try to get control of the bicep or the armpit.
Looking to pass to half guard here or cross side.
He'll drop there. Yeah, good job.
Can get an arm triangle.
There he is.
Now he'll take the back. 30 seconds, just heading to 30 seconds now.
Controlling the head of Brunswijk, so it's going to be really difficult for Brunswijk to bridge here.
Yeah, the right forearm is underneath the head. Brunswijk doesn't, goes full control here. You can still box the ears, and you could slam the head with your sternum. That's allowed.
2 rounds in the bag for Tchikhinachvili.
Yep.
Really good second round for Nika Tchikhinachvili here.
The end of the second round.
Clyde doesn't accept his offer as an assistant to stand up.
Well, I think Tchikhinachvili landed a blow after the bell, and Brunswijk was upset with that, but...
Gotta stay focused. It's so fascinating here, right? The average view, when you would watch this as somebody at home, you'd say, well, Clyde Brunswijk has to get aggressive now. But if he gets too aggressive, he gets taken down, right? Yeah, great round for Nika. I love the way he steps through on those punches, which gives him the chance to take his man down, but he hasn't really needed to too many times. He's been able to do well on the feet. That elbow hurt, and the right hand after it wobbled Clyde. So Clyde needs to finish, I think.
And here we go, the third and final round of our co-main event.
Pressure from Brunswijk immediately. Oh, landed a good left hook there. Beautiful movement by Tchikhinachvili and right back to the takedown.
Just what we said. You want to be aggressive, but if you're too aggressive, you hand the control back over to Nika.
And compare the opening of round 3 to round 1. That beautiful takedown by Nika. And now he's got full mount and 4.5 minutes to work here.
Very bad place for Brunswijk to be in.
Yeah, right in Tchikhinachvili's corner.
Good head positioning there by Tchikhinachvili.
The other issue is every time they're in these positions, they're both going to learn a little bit, but Nika's going to learn more because he's more experienced here. So he's going to learn a little bit more about the choices Clyde makes, and Clyde's more tired. So it becomes easier for Nika to control here. Every time they get here, it's slightly easier for Nika Tchikhinachvili.
He's also looking Brunswijk's legs up, so it's going to be even more difficult for Brunswijk to escape this position. He's only keeping himself on his back, hooking up that arm. He needs to go to his side, hip escape, but not seeing a ton of submission or position defense from Brunswijk here. Just relying on his explosiveness.
He goes to one, now he gives up his back.
And you expect Tchikhinachvili, shorter man, should be able to stretch out Brunswijk from here.
Nika's going to be patient here. He's going to be real patient, like a backpack. Being worn here.
Oh, he's got one arm.
Yeah,
that's it.
Got him. I think he's got him here.
It's going to be it, 100%.
Yeah, head down, ear to ear, palm to palm. Well,
good defense by Brunswijk.
Yeah, he's off. Yeah, really beautiful.
That good defense by Brunswijk.
Lovely job by him.
And Brunswijk punches out. Good for him, man. And Nika just keeps coming.
Good knees by both gentlemen.
Big knee by Brunswijk there. Tchikhinachvili needs to be careful.
He'll get an adrenaline boost because he got back to his feet.
You want an elbow here on the exit. If you're Clyde, you want a knee and you want an elbow on an exit if you can get an exit.
Brunswijk's corner is telling him to turn him around and land this.
Uppercuts and hooks now.
Big breath by Tchikhinachvili, who's
uppercuts.
tired right now.
And Brunswijk's got the bit between his teeth. Knee and
got him hurt.
Got him hurt. There's another.
Another big knee.
You want to shuck him up now? Oh!
Tchikhinachvili
got the single leg. Big shots by Brunswijk though. Tchikhinachvili's definitely hurt and tired.
And he's going to try, no. Is he going to try a Darce or an Anaconda? Yeah, he's going to turn him. You got to take what's there, but you also have the choice to stand up here. You can disengage, get your feet under you, and stand up, and that's what he's going to do. Oh. Yeah.
Into the leg, but he's eating some big shots from Brunswijk there.
Puts him on his back again. He's got to
needs to finish him. Winning the round will not be enough, presumably, for Clyde Brunswijk. He must finish him.
He can finish strong, though. It could be a 10-8 round.
Big elbow from Brunswijk there. Tchikhinachvili is...
The feet are open. He can stand up, and he does. And he does. Now you get this guy up.
Looks at the clock.
You got a minute to finish.
Tchikhinachvili is done.
You got a minute to finish.
Oh, Brunswijk smells blood.
Uppercuts and knees.
This is not what Tchikhinachvili wants to be.
Uppercuts and knees. That's... and that should be the fight.
That most likely won him the fight.
Oh, he's eating some big elbows here, though.
Tchikhinachvili's got nothing left. Brunswijk looking
time. There is time, but not a lot of it.
Tchikhinachvili has the body lock.
He's got to switch his hips.
He's got to give up his back. He's got to give up his back. He's tired, too.
He's got to fight the hands.
30 seconds for Tchikhinachvili to stay in this. He is showing incredible
elbows from here.
Putting everything in that body.
And that's the fight.
That's it. He's got it in the back.
He's got 20 seconds to stand up, separate, and knock him out, or else Nika Tchikhinachvili will win this fight. There's elbows that can be done here.
Brunswijk back on his back.
3 seconds left.
Really good third round for Clyde Brunswijk, but I feel Tchikhinachvili's done enough in round 1 and 2 to win this fight.
Brunswijk dropped 3 knees in quick succession that just seemed to take it out, and Tchikhinachvili can barely stand.
He can barely stand.
Just had to.
If there was a fourth round, if there was a fourth and a fifth, I think you'd be putting your money on Clyde Brunswijk right now. But there was not a fourth and a fifth. That was 3 rounds, And Nika, barely able to move, body poisoned with his own juices from working too hard, finds a way to get the takedowns when it matters, and I think he won that fight. I just really do.
Brunswijk put everything in that last knee, but he missed Tchikhinachvili and put himself back on his back. Really fun fight to watch, though.
Incredible fight. When you go back to the first round and it was the pair of them just slowly easing each other out, putting those chess pieces on the board, just trying to judge exactly what happened, seeing the weaknesses in the other one, and it seemed that Tchikhinachvili had got the number of Brunswijk in a way.
I was sure he was.
Yeah, I thought that was done.
He'd, that first round, think of the success he had.
Oh, look at that knee there.
Look at this. These were the knees that almost put Tchikhinachvili out of the fight.
The chin on Tchikhinachvili, though.
And it's easy to, admire that, but it's even harder to do when you're so tired you can't even stand, you can't even raise your hands, you can't breathe cold air into your lungs. They're both up in the center of the cage now, and they gave us a wonderful contest, right down to the wire.
And it was an incredible fight. So let's go to the let's go to the judges' decisions now.
Fighters, they're in the center of the ring. Give them a big applause, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of this fight is the man in the blue corner, Nika Tchikhinachvili.
Thank you both for, let's hear it for both these fighters. That was a wonderful fight. Thank you, Clyde. That was a fantastic fight. You, sir, are going to sleep well tonight. It's easy to be the hammer when you're on top and you're smashing somebody. But when you're exhausted and there's almost nothing left and he's coming on like that, to find the way to win that fight, that is something very special.
All glory to God. Thank you, Mom, Dad. Thank you, coaches, Koen, Dennis, Richard. Thank you, Georgia, my country.
When you've only had 3 pro fights, this man's had 70 fights. What is it inside that let you believe you could beat him tonight?
He has 70 fights already, but I look at it as, before the fight I was telling myself, if it wasn't for me, he'd be in the UFC, and if I cannot beat him, I'm not worthy of standing there. So to me it was, I didn't care about his 70 fights. Respect, he's very strong, very good, experienced opponent, but like I said, young guys want to take over.
When you have an experience like that, when there's almost nothing left in your body and you find a way to do what you have to do to win the fight, you become a different person, yes?
Definitely. Definitely. But luckily I had this experience before. My first pro fight, as some of you know. So it wasn't something new.
Let's take a look at a little bit of the action in this fight. In the first round, tactically, it really was brilliant for a young man to be able to hurt him at distance like that. That was working with your coaches and developing the right strategy, yes?
Yeah, definitely. We've been working on exactly this strategy for weeks. Had to work, so we made it work.
And lastly, as you watch this, and you're going to watch it many times and be proud of this fight always, there is a vacant middleweight title now. You deserve to be in the fight for that title on the next card, yes?
Yeah, line them all up, Donovan. Line them all up for me. I'm coming for everyone, so doesn't matter. I have the strongest middleweight contender right now under my belt, Clyde Brunswijk. Nobody else is gonna make it. So line them all up, Donovan. I'm coming for the title.
Yes, your winner, Nika Tchikhinachvili.
And we can see there the camera was going to Roland Loughran, another middleweight contender that I think that's going to be the fight. You just got a little message from Donovan on the slide there, a little note slid across the table that that's the fight to make. Roland versus Tchikhinachvili, and what a performance that was by Tchikhinachvili there, and he will, I mean, the fight with Goodhart will be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, the words of Nika Tchikhinachvili was that no one else is going to beat him in this cage, and the camera here was on Roland Goodhart, who said, let's go, let's do this. He didn't like those words. He didn't take kindly with those words, so I definitely think that's the matchup to make. Incredible matchup between two homegrown talents.
Yeah,
LFL.
Both of them that have come through the amateur new talent series, both of them that have shown incredible grit, talent, perseverance, growth. It was a fantastic fight from start to finish, but that was just our co-main event, gentlemen. We have our main event to go, a heavyweight title bout with, I know, one of your favorite fighters on this card.
I mean, they're both awesome fighters. Very different body types. We saw at the weigh-ins, when you see them together, they just couldn't be more different. But Soufyan Arab, when he throws those punches low and he swings his weight into them and comes over top, he specializes in fighting tall men. It is not, we'll say he has a height and reach disadvantage. It's not a disadvantage for him. Every fight is like that, so he's developed the tools and the skills to make it a disadvantage for the taller man.
Yeah, physically he's very strong, so it's going to be easier for him to get under those hips and lift his opponent, which is something he loves doing. Lifts him up and slams him down.
Let's not forget how gnarly and tough Kacapor, though, is. Even though he's known as a Kung Fu Panda and has the look of a cuddly man, this is someone who went to the final of a heavyweight Grand Prix, fought several times in one evening against some of the finest heavyweights that Europe has to offer, and was within an inch's breadth of coming out.
And when he was an amateur, I think he landed a triangle or two, which at heavyweight outside of Stefan Struve you don't see too often. But yeah, watch when they are, and look at the difference. Look at the difference between these two.
And that's Arab weighing on the scale there, and the man has no neck.
Yeah, he still
goes from trap to jaw.
240 pounds, but there's, like I said, you will say it's a height and reach disadvantage, but it's a disadvantage when you're not accustomed to fighting someone like him who has the tools to burn through the range and get to your chin. So, you know, it's a fascinating one, and it is for the LFL heavyweight title.
Which, you know, considering it was owned by Mario Pinto before, now on Dana White's Contender Series, this is not an easy belt to win. This is something that means a lot and, you know, can really propel either one of these fighters into the next level of their career in the best possible way.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Lots of vacant belts at LFL right now, but for the best reasons, because this is what LFL is all about. Build up these young fighters, give them the opportunity to go to like the Contender Series, go to the UFC, go to the PFL. Lots of them doing that right now, so.
Yeah, and there are places you can fight as you're, you know, getting your 8th win and your 9th win and becoming a really complete martial artist. But some of them will make you sign a contract and you've got to do all the fights there. Here, you'll come in, fight at the highest level on a high-end broadcast against the best fighters, develop your skills in a lit environment. But when it's time that you're going to go, you'll do so with Donovan and the team's blessing, and that attracts the highest level of fighters from the region, and it will continue to do so. We'll have the best fighters in Europe fighting here for that reason, among others.
Of course, and the focus on the new talent coming through and giving them a stage to perform and showing what they're capable of. It's yeah, fantastic organization, and yeah, this is another one of those fights that is just so so tantalizing. It makes you almost salivate for it.
I can't wait, man. You know, and this, you know, talk about this environment. So this is LFL Studios. This is our first show here. The team, Donovan, Bart, and the whole team have built out this studio so we can have our events here. They can develop talent here. It's a beautiful environment, and it's really special. It's going to change the next dozen Levels Fight League shows are going to just take this to, like we say all the time, there's levels to this. Well, we're leveling up every single time.
Exactly. And yeah, just having this own space, having the European apex, if you will, this situation where you're able to throw more events, you're able to show that in the Western, Northern, Central Europe, there is this route that you can go to. MMA, you know, when you were coming up, Stefan, like these organizations just didn't exist. You had to go a completely different route.
When I was coming up, you still had the mixed events in the Netherlands a lot of kickboxing fights, a lot of MMA fights. It wasn't even called MMA at a lot of those shows. It was called free fight back in the day at that point. So to have these kind of events, and especially what you say, this is kind of like the European Apex. We're going to have a lot more shows here, a lot more opportunity for these young fighters to grow and continue that path to greatness.
So let's introduce our heavyweight main event of the evening for the title. Hand you over to Tom.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening. A Levels Fight League title fight in the heavyweight division. The man in the blue corner, Moreno, Kacapor!
So we've spoken about Kacapor a little bit before, but this man turned pro in 2021. He had his first amateur fight in 2019. We already mentioned his fight against the heavyweight in the heavyweight Grand Prix, where he fought 3 times in one evening, and what a night that was, Robin.
Yeah, and that's hard for anyone to do. It's really hard for a heavyweight. The biological response to that level of combat is tough. You know, Mario, our former champion who won that night, Mario really, one of his great advantages at heavyweight is he's small. You know, he's a small heavyweight. This is a big heavyweight. This is a big, powerful, explosive heavyweight. That can be an advantage too. You build your game and your strategy and the way you express martial arts, you build it around your attributes. And this is a big-ass Kung Fu Panda right here.
Yeah, so his last fight for us was LFL 9, where he won against Louis Sutherland, a British fighter, where he had to show a different element to his game. He went a little bit longer in some of his other fights. But, well, let's bring out his opponent.
Well, then his opponent fighting out of the red corner, Soufyan, Arab!
So Arab, you can just see in his build there, this is a powerful, powerful fighter. Quite a little bit shorter than Kacapor, but everything he maybe lacks in height, he makes up in breadth, shall we say.
Yeah, and you do know what he's going to do. You know, he's going to use sort of a lowering of his hips to suggest a takedown. If you respond to that, he's going to explode with overhand rights and hooks. And if you're trying to cover up after he's done enough of those, he's going to drive into a takedown. You know what he's going to do, but he does it faster than you're expecting and more explosive than you're expecting. So sometimes you just can't stop it.
But he has another element to his game as well. He fought at LFL 9 and LFL 10. Both fights he won by decision. So even though he has the ability to explode and knock you out, he's also a very patient, very tactical, very together fighter. You can see there the local crowd, big fan of Soufyan Arab.
When introducing first the man fighting out of the blue corner, 32 years old, stands in at 190 centimeters, 6 feet, 2 inches. He's from Switzerland, and he's training at the Fight Move Academy. 9 professional fights on his record, 7 victories, 2 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, Kung Fu Panda, Bonita, Kacapor! His opponent in the red corner, 27 years old, stands in at 178 centimeters, 5 feet, 10 inches. He's from Morocco, and he's training at the Team Musashi. 8 professional fights on his record, 5 victories, 3 defeats. Your applause is for Soufyan Arab! Well, this LFL main event of the evening is a title fight in the heavyweight division. Scheduled 5 rounds of 5 minutes. Referee is Mr. Daniel Sharifi.
Title fight, 5 rounds of 5 minutes. You know the rules. Fight hard, fight clearly. To make comment all the time. No questions? No.
Here we go. We can see a little bit of a weight advantage to Kacapor, but it's really that height and reach which outstrips Arab. But wouldn't be unusual for him. This isn't the first time he's fought in the heavyweight division and against someone taller and longer.
Both men have gone to decision in 3-round fights. Kacapor has been booked for 5 rounds as an amateur, but didn't go the distance.
So here we go for the LFL heavyweight title, our main event of the evening. Kacapor versus Arab.
Kacapor is a master at tiring his opponent down, wearing on him, grinding out the victory. But it's going to be difficult to do it against Arab because he's so explosive, so strong.
You want to think of Arab as a sprinter. He's going to explode for 30 to 40 seconds intensely, and then he's going to try to move and recover. It's anaerobic, the way he fights. It's an anaerobic system instead of an aerobic, like a distance runner, and that's how Kacapor wants to approach this.
That had some venom behind it, that swing by Arab.
Just finding the chin. He's, you know, the distance between his weapons and the other man's targets are long because the other man is always taller than him. So he's got to find that distance, measure it, calibrate it. But you find as the fight goes, Arab starts to find that distance from knuckle to chin a lot easier as it goes on.
You can see both of them aware that it's a 5-rounder. And
Kacapor went high with his left leg there.
And then Kacapor threw a few punches, relaxed punches, which is really smart for him. He's, like I said, think of him as a distance runner and think of Arab as a sprinter. Sprint, recover, sprint, recover, sprint, recover.
Kacapor throwing a few varied kicks here.
Yeah, and he's doing it all relaxed.
He kicks very easily.
Yeah.
For a guy his size.
And punches too. You'll see when he punches it. It's not. He doesn't bite down and grip the steering wheel really hard. He just flows with them. Kick.
Again, the pair of them just trading leg kicks at the moment.
I like the looks at Kacapor so far. It's like he's got just locked right into what he wants to do, but that's the equalizer.
That's the danger.
Yeah. Kick punch. So Kacapor threw the low kick and then stuck the jab immediately after so that if Arab comes flying in off the low kick, he eats the jab. Keeps the gap.
Semi Shield was the master of that.
Yeah, the kick punch. It's a really nice technique, underutilized today.
It's a good
pair of them.
Good leg kick there by Arab.
Yeah.
We're going to be sore in the morning with those leg kicks just flying in.
That's the overhand right is the punch for the shorter man always, right? It's the giant killer. Oh, it pushes him over to the right hand, does the Kung Fu Panda. The tall man killer is the overhand right. Oh. There it is again, the kick punch. As the foot goes back down, he just pops that jab out on the exit. He's done it from both legs now. Chop down. Really good round for Kacapor so far.
I want to see Arab step in deeper with his left leg after that jab to land.
There he is.
He's landing it right now, but he can land it with a lot more power.
Yeah, little entry step, little penetration step will help. There it is.
Good left hook there by Arab.
So far, neither men even really feinting for a takedown.
Something I also want to see out of Arab is throw 3 or 4 shots instead of 1 or 2, because a taller guy...
Stepping on each, right?
It's got to be difficult to cover the distance with 2 shots, but...
The third one.
Catch him with the third or fourth.
He can also punch to the sternum as a measuring tool to get over top. Just, you know, measure to the sternum and then punch up and over the shoulder. Easy to say from here.
It's a good right hand there by Kacapor.
Yeah, Kacapor's having a good time in here. He's having a lot of fun.
He's got a very economic fighting style.
Yeah.
It's a good right hand there by Kacapor and a good head kick.
There it is again.
Lovely. And
the kick comes down, the punch goes out.
Kacapor just marched Arab down to the...
It's a good right hand there by Soufyan Arab, though. 20 seconds left on the clock.
Arab came in there. He's in deep now, but Kacapor.
Nice shots by Kacapor. Clinch knee, another knee.
It's good elbows by Kacapor as well. Good knees there. He's got him hurt.
Goes body too. 2 jabs here for Kacapor. No head kick.
The end of the first round.
That's a nice round for Moreno.
Nice round. Very measured, very controlled, very demure.
Kacapor he's got really good cardio for a guy his size.
And it is the way he's expressing the energy too. He's jogging, you know? He's not sprinting, he's not gritting, he's not gripping his fists tight. He's relaxed and he's flowing out there. And for a big man, it really, you know, economical is a word you used earlier. It's true, you know, he's controlling himself.
The body language out of Soufyan Aarab is telling. He went to his corner and immediately sat down on the mat. His corner put him back on the stool, but it's never a smart thing to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Kacapor is looking relaxed, standing up, taking some water, head held high. Aarab is bent over a little bit, just head down, and which he shouldn't be. He had a good round there. He wasn't blown out of the water.
The end of the second round was all Kacapor, though. He had a really good last 20 seconds.
Yeah. And he, you know, Kacapor was in charge through much of it and then added to it in the last phrase.
Okay, here we go. Second of 5 rounds for this title fight in LFL for the heavyweight strap.
I think Kacapor is going to push the pace a lot more this second round. Really good calf kick there.
Another one.
That's an issue for Arab. Ground and pound by Kacapor.
This could be it.
This will be it.
Could be over. Referee's got to stop it here. He's got to stop it.
Kacapor is the LFL heavyweight champion.
Kick the tree trunk out. Smashed the leg out, then overwhelmed him.
That came out of nowhere, but those 3 kicks at the end just took Arab down.
Just spammed the calf. Really controlled through round 1, relaxed and flowing. And then in round 2 came out and spammed that calf right away.
And it was interesting, as we were speaking about as well, like Arab didn't have a bad round 1, but the way he sat down, his body language, something changed.
Now, you never know if he's hurt, right? If he's hurt or if he's having trouble breathing, or there's always something happening there. There's so many things happening that we can't see or know.
And here we go.
1, there he's got a wobble. Watch, 2, now he's got a hard 3, and it goes out. Yeah.
The same thing though goes for this fight as the Loughran fight. It was all, you know, set up in the first round, because you could really see Soufyan Aarab bite down on his gum shield at the end of the second round after Kacapor landed a couple of those leg kicks, and then after you take that break and you stand on it for a while, you really realize, oh, my leg is hurting. Then you have to go back out for the second round. When you get kicked in the second round after that break, it hurts even more.
Yeah, this was a very mature, controlled, intelligent, technical, tactical fight. This is a guy really coming into his own on the at the right time, on the right night, and now he's going to be crowned heavyweight champion.
Well, fighters to the center of the ring, please. And first of all, a big applause for these 2 giants, Moreno, Kacapor, and Soufyan Aarab. And ladies and gentlemen, the LFL champion in the heavyweight division is the man in the blue corner, Kung Fu Panda, Moreno, Kacapor.
Kung Fu Panda.
What's up?
Very good, my friend.
Thank you.
You know, you're a wonderful martial artist and a great fighter, an intelligent fighter, a skilled fighter, and we've seen that from amateur all the way. But tonight, it just all came together for you. The thinking, the moving, the control of yourself and your opponent. It has to feel like the performance of your life.
It is, because I prepared really hard for this one, because it's a 5x5, so I knew he is really tough, and I saw it in his eyes that he don't want to give up. So I knew I had to do a lot of damage to stop the fight, so I was prepared to go 5 rounds with him, so yeah.
How does this feel? You know, from starting out as an amateur fighter and working all your way through this part, this is a highlight of your career, heavyweight title tonight.
Yes, it is. It's my first heavyweight title, and I'm really happy to have it.
And you went through the heavyweight one-night Grand Prix right down to the final with the former champion, and you've seen how he's performed. What is the future like? You have to come here. You know Shah Kamali wants a piece of you.
I know that. But yeah, I wish the tournament, the last fight, that we had a longer time, because I wanted to enjoy more with Mario. Mario was a really good fighter, and he helped me to evolve better. And I'm happy for him that he goes to the Contender Series, and I wish him well.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights here. I think, you know, in round one, you pieced them up, and there's 3 in a row. There's 1, there's 2, and bing, there's 3. Just chopped him down. Created that in the first round, that opening, and then just chopped the man down.
Yeah, the first one, the thing is, like, I kick really hard, like a fucking horse. And if I land, I know exactly that it does damage. So the first one I gave him, he landed deep. So I knew if I continue, it's gonna get the finish there. Yeah.
This is the night of your life. You're the new Levels Fight League heavyweight champion. You know that you already got Shah Kamali coming after you, but enjoy this night. This is your time. Say what you gotta say. Thank who you gotta thank.
Yeah, I want to thank my team, everyone that helps me prepare. Rukus BJJ Clan, New Legacy Arya, and of course my main team, Fight Move Academy. These are the boys that push me to get better and better.
Congratulations, my friend. Your winner tonight and new LFL heavyweight champion, the Kung Fu Panda, Moreno Kacapor.
Kacapor joins an illustrious crowd there, and you can hear what he said. He kicks like a horse, and so when he saw those first legs kicks landing, he knew Arab was in trouble, and that's how it played out. It was a very smooth, eloquent performance by Kacapor. He never seemed to be putting in too much stress, too much energy. He just pieced him up slowly, and just relied on his own abilities.
Very nice, methodical performance. Really one of the best performances of his career, maybe the best performance of his career. And looking forward to see what the future's got in store for this man. Lots of fun matchups at heavyweight for him.
The future might be Shah Kamali.
Yeah, it's going to be Shah Kamali. And that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. You know, we've seen some amazing fights tonight, some like inspirational performances like Benita van Rooij and many of them. But when you watch something like that, there's a beauty in it. You know, we go through our lives and we have goals and dreams and aspirations. And sometimes you get there and sometimes you get another test and another setback and another failure, which is all part of the process. And he's experienced that too. You don't win them all. And sometimes losing is a key part to the path to victory. But tonight, when it all comes together and you just have what appeared to be the performance of his life, and a lifetime of training is just expressed out there beautifully, and like the word you used, eloquently, it's just something gorgeous to watch.
It was. We can see some of the highlights here, just the calm confidence, and yeah, the way he had his strategy and just worked through without ever looking worried about it. And yeah, he dealt with, like, Arab was a big problem. There was a big danger. This is an explosive, powerful man. And Kacapor looked nonplussed throughout the whole thing. He was in his element. He was in his zone and managed to find what he needed to win eventually in a convincing way.
And that's not left to chance either. At its best, in whatever we're doing in our lives, you're trying to prepare mentally, so on the last, when it matters, you're at your best. And tonight, many of the fighters that we saw win truly were at their best or found a way to be at their best.
And it's just set up so many exciting fights, like we saw Tchikhinachvili earlier, which we're probably going to get a Roland Loughran fight in there, whether that's for the middleweight strap or a contender series for that. Shah Kamali, of course, we talked about. He's got to be very close to that shot on Kacapor, because what a fight that's going to be. The ultimate example of what you were talking about earlier, Robin, with the anaerobic versus aerobic,
Oh, yeah.
explosive versus distance. That is that matchup taken up to 1,000.
Yeah, a wonderful night of fights again. You know, we're back at the end of October. We will have a light heavyweight one-man tournament.
Yes.
And, you know, our heavyweight one-night tournament was insane. It'll be a one-night light heavyweight tournament the last Sunday of October. And, you know, now we have this beautiful venue, and it's just going to keep coming. We're going to level up every couple of shows. And right now, this is the show to fight on. If you're in Europe and this part of the world, this is the show you want to fight on.
And that's October 27th. So make sure you go on LFL MMA on all social media channels, lflmma.com to go check it out. Until then, Stefan, Robin, thank you very much for your time this evening and the fights we got to witness together. Make sure you follow LFL on all social media channels. I've been Callum. Until next time, we'll see you later. Au revoir.